7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
He has a lot of problems.
Struggle to be top 5 in points at the end of the season.
Wow.
When you bleach your hair, you're a sellout.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Moto Aftermath Show. This is episode number 309, Thunder Valley Wrap-Up Show, round 3 of the 2025 Pro Motocross season. I'm your host, Travis. We're here in the TLR Coatings studios, and we're going to bring you all of the action from the race here. Before we get started, want to thank our presenting sponsor, Rev X Products. They have a full line of oil and fuel additives. This here in my hand, Max Power Oil Additive. Pour it in any of your single-cylinder 4-stroke motors, and it will reduce heat, reduce friction, will extend intervals in your maintenance schedule there if you're so inclined, and will generally keep your motor running better, cooler, longer. So make sure to check them out at revxoil.com. Also on board with us here, we got Worx going to be bringing you the 450 race recap. We have a Complete Racing Solutions halftime report, which is going to have a holster code reload rant. We are going to have TLR tinfoil hat talk with our silly season there. We will have Flo Racing bringing you our 250 race recap. I'm about to text Cole and see if he can get me some Rev X segments. Alias MX and Adept Creative Co. are on board with us, but Eric not going to be on today. He had some stuff going on this weekend. Did not get a chance to watch the race, so he told me he was out. And in studio with me today, local pro, Mr. Noah Schuring. Hello, sir.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going fantastic, man. Great to have you here. We had you on the show, what do we figure, 3 years ago now?
Yeah, it was around COVID time. I want to say maybe fall of 2020 or 2021, so it's been a little bit.
Yeah. You got a little, I just noticed, you got a little accent in there. You've been down south way too long. You're getting that little bit of south accent.
Yep.
It pops up every other word or so, and it's just, I can hear it in there. I can hear it.
It's still in there. It rubs off on me a little bit, but yeah, I'm back here in Michigan and excited to be back home.
Cool. And you're working with your dad right now?
That's correct.
Right? Okay.
Working at the Miller Schuring Agency here in Portage, Michigan, so helping out at the family business.
Slang and insurance.
You know it.
Slang and policies.
That's
for
right.
everything.
Heck yeah.
You want a policy? Here's your guy.
We're here for you guys, full service, so hit us up.
There we go. All right, and Noah actually has watched the race. I asked him that before we got started just to make sure here. So, yeah, we are we're going to cover a whole bunch of stuff because Noah you've been going to school in Florida for however many years. I don't even know. A lot, right?
That's right.
I'm just kidding. He's not dumb. He just has a lot of degrees. He's a smart kid. So he's been going to school in Florida for a while. So you've been at different training facilities and different places down there. So when we get to halftime, we'll get into all of that because it's always interesting to me. Want to thank our members who are tuned in right now. There's a couple of you on there. Let's go in here. No one's chatting in the chat. But if you guys do want to watch the show be recorded live, you guys can join our members area for as little as 99 cents per month. And then you can watch live shows. If you join our $5 per month B-Class Bench Racers, we also do Thirsty Thursdays where I sit down for half an hour or 45 minutes on Thursday night and just chat with you guys about anything. This week kind of went off the rails. I brought up a certain something that was going on in the news. And all of a sudden, stream just flashed at me, and then nothing was happening. And, I sat there and talked for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and it says that stream was only 7 minutes long.
Oh, boy.
Powers that be.
They're banning you.
Powers that be. Shadow banned by the YouTube gods, man. It's unreal. So, okay. Without any further ado, then, you know what I don't have pulled up here? I am a shitty media guy. I guess we should get results here. RacerX.com? Sure. Because we're going to need results because I don't remember outside of first place. It's the only important one to me. All right, let's jump into this then here. 450 race recap brought to you by our friends at Worx. Always well hung, just like Justin Barsha. And we're going to start here. Golden Boy, Jet Lawrence. I will now be doing a 45-minute dissertation glazing Jet for how good he is. I'm just kidding. Noah, let's talk to you. Jet Lawrence, 1-1 again.
Yes.
Got past.
He did. That first moto, AP went right around him.
I was shocked.
I was too. I really was. I didn't think AP was going to do that. And then it was interesting to see how Jet handled the situation. And he pretty much got him back in 3 or 4 corners. So
it was very wild to watch. I don't know that he was quite expecting that out of AP. Like, let's put it this way. You could ask me a lot of questions preseason as to who was going to pass Jet this year.
Yeah.
I don't know that I have AP on my bingo card for that. That was a little bit of a surprise to me also. AP's riding great. We'll get to him. He finished 3rd. But the thing with Jet is, okay, we've had this question now for a couple of years, which was, is he really going 100%? Is he not going 100%? Is he going 75%? And Stu, as we all know, kind of under the impression that he's going a lot harder than we think. He just makes it look easy. But now we're kind of seeing it with these guys. You got him, you got Tomac. Obviously, at some point we'll see Chase. These guys are pressing him more than he's had before, and he's having to go farther, faster, harder. And he is going there.
he is, yeah. Yeah, I think the first 3 rounds, we've really seen the gap between Jet and 2nd and 3rd a lot closer. It's a lot tighter. I think that's happening just because Jet's coming back from that ACL injury in Supercross. But yeah, I mean, it's tough to know how hard Jet's pushing because he's just so technically perfect on the bike. His form, it just looks like everything's gelling. I think a lot of that is his technique on the bike, as well as the bike setup. And I think a lot of the other guys are just chasing that on Jet. So it is hard to see how much Jet is actually pushing, but I think he is giving it his 100% while he's out there.
He's definitely having to go farther than he's had to go before. But the problem being is, and I've said this in all my reaction videos so far for this championship, whether it's 250 or 450, the problem being is that, like, they're pushing him and he's responding. And then everybody's having these secondary weird motos, right? Like, nobody's going 2-2 every week. It's like Jet's going 1-1, AP's going 2-4, Jet's going 1-1, Tomac's going 1-9. Like, it's all over the place. And so here we are 3 rounds in. Jet's won 3 overalls. Jet's won, what, 5 out of 6 motos now?
5
out of 6.
Yep.
And he's got, what is he, 15, 20 points up already?
I think it's 25 points if my memory serves me correct. He's up in entire moto.
Let's see here. Tomac's in 2nd, I think. So Tomac is in 2nd with 120 points, and Jet is in 1st with 145. Yeah, so he's up a whole moto 3 rounds in.
Yeah.
We're not even to the first break, and we're up a whole moto.
That's tough. It's, that discrepancy in points, if it was any other guy, they might have a mistake or bike problems. But with Jet, as we've seen over the course of his career so far, he's just so consistent. And these other guys are going to have to run a tight ship to even be close to knocking Jet off.
Yep. Yeah, it's it has been wild to see, and I just don't know. I don't know how you beat him. And at this point too, we always question. So he gets hurt. We questioned this last year, right? He got hurt in outdoors.
Yep.
Came back for SMX, and we all kind of went, "Ooh, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?" And he came back and fucking won.
Yeah.
And now here we are with outdoors. Ooh, knee injury, hasn't had this. He's coming back a little early. What's gonna happen? He fucking won. So, like, I don't think the answer is, oh, he's hurt. This is our opportunity. Your opportunity is when he's hurt and he's not racing. Because I don't know if you've been paying attention. They've been throwing this stat out there. He's won every single outdoor race overall other than Hangtown last year.
Yeah.
That's the one he hasn't won because he, like, KO'd himself that first moto and got 12th. Even after that, with one shoulder and then one thumb for a round, he still won those 2 rounds. He won High Point, he won Southwick before he finally was like, all right, dude, I'm out.
100%.
So I mean, it's just it's getting to the point. It's like, where do you find a flaw in this guy to beat him outdoors?
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. As far as the other guys having an opportunity to get a leg up on Jet, I think when a guy's injured, you can't really replicate the race reps. So I think the competition, their best bet to really put it to Jet was in the first 3 rounds. And as we've seen so far, Jet's been pretty much unstoppable the first 3. So it's going to be really tricky to even try to catch up to Jet now because his confidence is just going to keep soaring as we go on.
Yeah, it's every time there's a chance for these guys to jump on him, they seem to always foobar it away.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like you said, the first 3 rounds here, they haven't been really stoked on the bike. They've been trying to get that back underneath them, coming back off an injury. Like, this is probably your best bet, but yet he still comes out at Paul and goes 1-1. Like I said, this is 45 minutes just glazing this guy, dude. Just glazing.
It's hard not
guy.
to, man. He's just so perfect on the bike, and, you know, he's winning at the end of the day. So
I mean, it's just... I think whatever you want to think about him on a personal level, but when it gets down to the nuts and bolts is like how good this guy is, it's just... I don't know. I mean, at the rate he's going, if he goes on a 10-year career, right? So everybody was up in arms when he said, well, I'm going to go after the 72 win thing, right?
MC.
Which, at the same time, it's like, yeah, he got hurt this year, but he still, in 2 years here, has, 10, 11 wins in Supercross?
Yeah.
Like, okay, you want to tell me he can't? All right, anyway. But, dude, the bigger one, I think, is, like, going after Ricky's outdoor wins. Because I think, wasn't it? He's won, 100... Was it 120 motos or 120 overalls? I'm sure the comments will let us know here.
Probably motos, I'm guessing. I think Ricky had maybe 70-some overalls.
Hold on. We'll ask Chat
I could be
GPT.
wrong.
I'm sure they'll...
Yeah, use the AI.
Shit.
There you go.
How? I've never used it for anything like this. Overall motocross races has... Ricky Carmine.
But yeah, I think as long as Jed, as long as he can stay healthy and he keeps a good team around him, you know, I don't see why not. You know, he's so young in his career. If he keeps, you know, the pace that he's at, I think he might have a shot at it. But it's going to be so tricky to stay healthy, and, you know, I think that's why no one's ever got close to Ricky's.
Ricky has 102 pro motocross outdoor overall victories.
Wow. Okay. That's going to be tough
Crazy.
to beat. Yeah.
And 150 total. He's got 48 Supercross wins and then the 102 outdoors. That is wild. That is a lot. But when you look at the fact of we've got 18 already.
Yeah.
Year 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I don't know. That kid's going to set records. And I know there's a gazillion Deegan people typing comments already for me, but whatever. So Tomac goes 3-2 on the day for second overall. I mean, man, he's moving.
Yeah.
This is Eli Tomac of old, in my opinion, because you look back to when he was winning on the Cowie. Who was his main competition?
Really like Ryan Dungey.
Marvin Muskin.
Yeah, Marvin.
Because Ryan retired, I think, either right before or after he won. Maybe the first
Supercross
one he
title.
won. Because
Yep.
he went. Did Eli win 16? Shoot. Never mind. I don't even know where I'm looking for that. I can't remember if I think he won 2016 outdoors. So he won the first outdoors, and then the second one, Dunge didn't race. Dunge didn't race 16 either, because Dunge broke his neck that year. Or his back
that's
or
right,
something.
yeah.
So he didn't race Dunge outdoors for those. So his main competition was Marvin Muskin. And if we're comparing Marvin to Jet,
Marv's good, but
Marv's real good, but he's not Jet.
level.
So I think this is one of the best Eli Tomacs we've ever seen. I do think it's funny, though, because you watch Jet. Jet is, in my opinion, pushing him to a level he hasn't had to go to before, which is why we're seeing the mistakes in hitting the deck.
Yeah, I think that's what we saw there in Moto 2. Tomac was he was probably back 5-6 seconds, and he knew he really had to hit the turbo button to try to catch up to Jet. And When you're pushing that razor edge, that's where the mistakes happen, and that's why Jet Lawrence is so hard to beat, because he's so technically perfect. Like, you just got to be on your A game, and every little bit on the track matters.
Yeah. Well, and the start.
And the start.
It's all about the start,
Yeah,
man.
the HRC team, they have those Hondas dialed. Like, Jet and Hunter are 1-2, it seems like, every start. And
It's like a rocket button.
yeah, for real.
But, hey, man, no, they weren't 1-2 last week. Jet missed his shift.
That's true.
And
That
he
is
ended up with a
right.
shitty start, and he ended up third in the moto.
Yep.
And we all went, what's wrong with Jet? Not these guys are all great. What's wrong with Jet? So, dude, I think Eli will challenge more. Do I think he gets an overall? Man, I don't know. That's a tough one. That is the one streak we got left, is can Jet go perfect with overalls for the year? Can he go 11-0? I mean, I think he can. Tomac's good. I think Tomac will beat him in more motos this year. Whatever's happening with Chase, we can talk about that in halftime too, because I have lots of thoughts on that. But I don't know about an overall, man. It's gonna take an act of God, I think, to make that not happen.
I think it'd be tough. I think if Tomac can have a good first moto and get second to Jet, and then he goes, classic beast mode Eli Tomac in the second moto and pulls off the win, I think that's how he'd get the overall.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be tough, because Jet, like we were talking about, he's just so perfect, and you're going to have to.
And like I said, I think he'll get him in motos, but to get him in two,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I guess you go 2-1. You get lucky, you get him on the second moto instead of the first moto. But man, I don't know. AP goes 2-5 for third. Dude, he is having a hell of a start to this outdoors.
He is, yeah.
And like, crazy stat I heard today. The math is mathing right now. If this continues, you're gonna have like Justin Cooper going into SMX as the number 1 seed, and AP going into SMX as the number 2 seed, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah. I mean, they've been there the entire Supercross season and the Moto season so far, so
Yeah.
they've been consistent.
Well, and you would think Cooper Webb would be there, but literally the math is mathing at the, because like Webb's just happy to be there, and we'll
Yeah.
get to Webb in a few spots here, but Webb's just happy to be outdoors at this point. And so, like I said, from what I heard on the review show what I was listening to earlier, the math is mathing that he isn't going to get enough points to maintain that number 1 position there going into SMX playoffs, which is just crazy to think, because again, you want to talk about something else I didn't have on my bingo card? Justin Cooper and AP going into the playoffs 1-2.
Yeah, and that could really shake up the playoffs, having that 1-2 spot coming with those points, that gives you a little bit of a buffer going in. And, they could be a wild card, to
Oh, yeah.
knock off Jet or
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I think Justin Cooper, and I guess at this point AP, we're going to get to the end of the year, and one of them is going to be third in points, the other one's going to be fourth, and we're going to be like, holy shit, how did that happen? Because they're both riding excellent, man. Like, they're both riding so good. Yeah, dude, in AP, I cannot believe he passed Jet. You want to talk about, like, blow my wig back?
Yeah.
Sitting there going, holy what the fuck just happened? AP passing Jet has to be that moment for me so far this year. So, Justin Cooper goes 5-3 for fourth. I just wish we had more personality.
Yeah, J. Coop, he's steady and consistent. They used to give like Ryan Dungey the nickname the Diesel. I feel like Justin Cooper's a little bit like that. He's always there. He's solid, but you don't really hear anything about him because he's always like third or second, maybe fourth. Like he logs his laps. He doesn't normally get a whole shot up front, but he's always there.
Yeah. Do you think he ever learns to pass people?
I think he does.
Because that's his kryptonite right now.
Yeah, I know he's down there at the Star Goat facility down there in Tallahassee, and they all ride together. So I know he knows how to pass people. He's training with Webb, and even some of those 250 guys, man, they go like crazy. So I
little rabid dogs.
They are, yeah, they got it going down there at that facility. But yeah, I think a lot of it, honestly, is confidence. The more he does it, I think the more his confidence is going to grow and soar. The more he kind of goes from that third or fourth place spot and moves up to second or even maybe first if he can get to Jet, I think the more he's going to believe in himself. And really at this level of the game, that's really what you need is that confidence.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It is crazy how good he is, and he's just quietly there all the time. And, like, AP, you know when AP's doing good because he's on the podium. Woo! Yeah, man. Woo! Yeah, brother. So, yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, I think Justin Cooper's kryptonite is he doesn't know how to pass. Like, if he gets a bad start, say like an 8th place, he's basically going to finish 8th.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. Hunter Lawrence goes 4-4 for 5th. Got anything on that? Because I don't really.
I saw he was
very
up,
quiet.
He was up front in some of the motos. It looked like he was logging good laps. Quite honestly, I don't think Hunter's 100% comfortable on the bike just from watching him, watching the motos. It looks like he's a little tentative, kind of not trusting his bike to the fullest extent. Kind of hesitates in a few of the spots. But I think the more he trains, the more they're going to get the bike right. And I'd expect him to be moving up to like 3rd or 2nd here as the series moves on.
He's another guy that I could definitely see being in that top 3 battle there at some point. The bike must really be off for him. So we have this theory here. Go with us on this. He rides better when Jet's there. So, for example, last year, like him and Jet would gap people. But I said, all it is a practice day for him, right? He's just riding with his brother, and if his brother's got that speed, his brother will tow him. They can go 20 seconds away because he doesn't care. He's just riding with Jet. We're just getting tow from Jet. And then when Jet left last year, it was still good, but it just wasn't that same. He didn't have 20 seconds on everybody like he did when Jet was there. So I really thought we would see that. I thought he would get starts like we've seen, and he would just go with Jet, and it would be kind of a 1-2 thing most of the year. So I don't know. It has to be the bike, in my opinion. Has to be a level of comfortability, in my opinion. Do I think they'll get there? Yes. It's still super strange to me because do you remember last year when they premiered that 25?
I do.
For outdoors?
Yeah,
and he
was
jumped
it
on it?
Unadilla?
Something like that, yeah. And it was so good, and he loved it so much. And now it's like, yeah, we're working on it. What do you mean we're working on it? It's the same fucking thing we rode last. Like, I'll give you a Supercross, but outdoors?
Yeah.
I don't know. I always got questions with this stuff of like, why? So, I don't know. We'll see. Webb goes 7-6 for 6. Happy to be there.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
I think Webb put it all in on the Supercross series, and I know he's kind of frustrated with people saying that. He's just happy to be there because we all know Webb's got that dog in him, and he's a champion, so he wants to be up there and win. But to go, 16 rounds of the Supercross series or
17
to go all 17 and win, and the Supercross Championship, like that is the premier series in our sport. Yeah. So I think Webb's still coming off that Supercross season, all the energy, the mental strength to pull that off, but he's going to be there, and he does got that dog in him, and I'll expect to see him probably around the 5th place mark for most of the series.
Good start, second moto there, running up front. And his big thing, which I laugh about all the time, is he's battling Prado. He's like, bro, I'm battling 2-time world champion. Like, I'm doing great.
Yeah.
So, all right. So probably surprise of the summer so far here. RJ Hampshire goes 6-7 for 7th. I mean, color me shocked. We all knew RJ would be okay on a 450. We saw it when he did Daytona a couple of years ago. Yeah. But then, 12 days before the season, you have a bone taken out of your wrist. All right. That you don't even talk about. All right. And then, you just quietly are running around this top, we'll call it 4th to 8th place every single moto, every single round. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Consistency? Just a motto of consistency. Good job, RJ. So wild. Absolutely. Anything on?
I'm impressed with how he's done so far. I think a lot of people, they watch RJ and they think he really rides the 250 well. Like he's just always on the throttle, maybe kind of rides the edge quite a bit. But to see him transition from the 250 to the 450, he's really, I don't know, I think it smoothed out his riding quite a bit on the 450. And like you said, with his injury before the season started, I'm really shocked that he's, not shocked because of his skills, but just really more so impressed with how he's been able to do with the first few rounds here.
Keep talking.
Yeah, so RJ, yeah, I mean, I know he's down there in Florida. They train on that 450 quite a bit, and while he was on the 250, so I knew he was going to be comfortable somewhat on the 450 going into the Pro Motocross Championship, but really I am very impressed with how he's been able to be within that top 10, even battling positions, towards, the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, that's been the most crazy thing to me is that, like, if you'd have asked me coming in, where is he going to pencil in, I'd have told you 6 through 12.
Yeah.
No shot of top 5s, no shot of even sniffing that. And it's like, nope, he's been right up there, 4 to 8 guy. And I'm just like, okay, sweet, awesome, cool. So, Stu goes 10-10 for 8th. Okay. Valentin Guillo goes 14-8 for 9th. Savachi 9-16 for 10th. If there's anything you want to say about any of these guys, stop me. Otherwise, we can only see so much. So, Benny goes 13-13 for 11th. That's a lot better for Benny. Benny had a good qualifying last weekend and then completely shit the bed in the motos. No idea what happened. Eri Koulos, 15-12 for 12th. Okay, let's stop here. Prado goes 8-39 for 13th.
Yeah.
Hold on. Do you see that? Do you see this?
Yeah,
Let me just show this to everybody. This is a fucking disaster. This is 100% a disaster. I understand learning the bike. I understand it takes time to develop and it takes time to get used to a new team. Mm-hmm. Your man hurt himself in Supercross, came back, had time to prepare, was only preparing for outdoors, and now can barely get in the top 10 in motos. And now it's starting to come out that new Kawasaki for the last 2 years, we'll call it, since they came out with the new one, has not been great for anybody outside of, I guess, Roman Fevra, who's ridden it.
Yeah.
This is a problem. This is a big problem. And he's signed to a long-term deal. So this is an issue. And I don't know that it's... The thing is like, it's not getting better. Like, he's been 6, 7, 8, 9... the entire time. There hasn't been a start. There hasn't been a fast lap. There hasn't been anything. Bike problem, I think it was the second moto, which is the 39th. So, okay, cool, I'll give you that, whatever. But that 8th, the first moto is still, what? And, like, people, for example, like I said, listening to the Pulp review, JT's been watching him for years, much closer than I have. And JT's like, dude, I've never seen him ride this bad.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's, a 2-time MXGP champion, so I know the guys at Kawasaki and even himself are probably frustrated with how the start of the season's gone so far. It's definitely difficult. I think maybe part of it is, for qualifying at least, if he's never rode some of these tracks, you only get maybe a lap or two to even learn the track before you got to go start throwing down fast laps. So I think that might be something to do with it, but at the end of the day, he's the 2-time MXGP champion, so you'd think he'd be able to figure that out. Even just watching qualifying the other day, I don't think he put in a lap time that would get him into the motos until maybe 3 or 4 minutes left of qualifying 2.
Yeah, it was like 3 or 4 minutes. He got into 16th, I think it was.
Yeah.
And then the last lap, he threw down one that got him into, I think, 11th. Yeah. So. This is... Look, I said it wasn't going to go great this summer period. This is worse than I thought it was going to be. I thought by this point, and I'll go one more round before I'm like, this is over. He's going to be getting out of this deal. If he doesn't do something at High Point, I think this contract with Kawasaki is going to be a lot shorter lived than the 3+1 deal that he's got, because like I said, this is just, I'll give you Paula's kind of weird. Nobody likes that place.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Then you go to Hangtown. Yeah, it's still California. Everybody said it was a lot better than it's been. Again, it's a 2-time MXGP champion, and they race a lot of different surfaces. So, like, yeah, not picture perfect, but let's see something. And now we've been at Thunder Valley, and again, you're looking at, I haven't seen anything.
Yeah.
Not a fast lap, not a start, nothing. And all he's complaining about is the bike's not fast enough.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that a little bit. I know he was on the gas, so maybe he's not used to the power of the bike, or he's still getting comfortable. I mean, I know he's had quite a bit
Those
of time.
Kawasaki's are slow.
Yeah, I mean, that's
I know you've heard this being around
everyone
Moto
said.
long enough. Those Kawasaki's are fucking slow.
But you'd think, being with Factory Cowie, they'd be able to put a package together that he would be suitable for his riding type or riding style.
You would think that it would be easy enough to make power in a 450, enough that a guy's not asking for more and more and more.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, I have heard that, like, his gas he was riding, that Hurling's jumped on that, or maybe not even jumped on the gas, but they just put his engine package in the KTM or whatever for him, and he was like, dude, if I ride this, I'll die. It was that
So
much.
powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I don't know. We got one more race, dude.
Yeah.
Going into that break, if it ain't better, that's a problem.
I think at least within the motos, I think he needs to get up front. I think that was, kind of his forte in the MXGP championship. He was always dialing in the starts, and then
He was
the race up
whole
front
shot artist.
is completely different up front when you're by yourself. You can choose where you're going with your lines and really set the tone of the race. And maybe he's not used to starting, mid-pack or, around eighth, or so maybe he's, learning how to even go about a race like that.
But like, okay, so like at what's it called, at Paula, they didn't run a scoop the first moto.
Yeah, I heard that, which is interesting.
What the fuck do you mean you didn't run a scoop? First off, Prado has only ran a scoop for the last 10 fucking years of riding.
Yeah.
So what are we doing? Is Prado saying I don't want the scoop, or is Kawasaki? Because again, as I'm sure you've heard, because I've heard it, and you've been in this industry too, Kawasaki has a box when you're on Kawasaki, and you work in that box, and they don't let you go outside the box. There's a box, and you're in it, partner, no matter what. So they put him in that box, and they were like, yeah, no, you're going to run this, not the scoop.
I mean, I would like to know what went into that decision making. I've had the opportunity to race
Seems like a
Pala.
dumb fucking decision.
Yeah. I know the start there, at least when I was there, they ripped it so deep that you would only want to run a scoop. I know the rest of the track, there is some really hard-packed square edges, but as we were discussing, especially at the level of this sport, you have to get a start and be up front. So you
and
need to
everybody
run
says
scoop.
the new scoop is not like the old, like the MX 11 or 12s, whatever, which again, I'm old enough to remember. I don't know if you'd have been on big bikes then, because that would have been probably 5 or 6 years ago.
MX 12 beforehand. I was on 125, so I have rode gold. Yep.
Yeah, and those were the side bite wasn't great.
No.
Those things were made to go fast in a straight line. Okay, cool, and you had to give it up in some other places. But the MX-14, and again, I haven't rode one. I'm just going by what I've heard from other people. They're like, dude, these things are fine.
Yeah.
Like they have perfected these now. There's plenty of side bite for what you're going to do most of the time. No big deal. I don't know. It's my mind's a little bit blown on this. I'll be really interested when we get to Redbud and I have Justin in studio if this doesn't go better, because I'm going to be like, what the fuck's going on with your boy here? He's not going to be able to answer me, or he's going to give me some bullshit about, well, MXGP is so much different and blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to be like, no, dude, your boy just, I believe when you look at the MXGP side of stuff, there is this underlying tone that the KTMs over there for both 250 and 450, and we'll get to the 250 KTM situation here soon. It's essentially like a cheater bike. Like for some reason, the development with the KTM brand over there is so much more, even a further step than what it is here, that it almost is cheater bike, especially in the 250 class. 450 not as much, but 250 class for sure. So it's like, okay, cool. Well, was part of his success that he was on the cheater brand and the small bikes, and then got to the big bikes and like still rode okay, but those bikes we're like a little bit of a leg up on every. I don't know. Let's put it this way: it's not a great look that your defending champ comes over here and is running around in 6th, 7th, 8th every moto.
It's a tough look, and I know in MXGP they're able to modify the bikes quite a bit more than what you can in the States.
Which is fucking dumb, too. Yeah. Fucking dumb. What about the privateers? No offense. Fuck the privateers, dude.
Hey, no offense taken.
Fuck the privateers, dude. That you get me into a whole thing of a subset series that should be for guys like you and whatever, you know. We're going to be premier, be fucking premier. If we're not, then we're fucking not. Take your pick.
I mean, as a privateer myself, I don't take any offense with that. I know, I know the AMA's intentions behind that is to try to make the playing field a little more level. But at the end of the day, you know, as a privateer myself, you know, we take a bike off the showroom floor. You know, that bike's probably 10,000 on average. The amount of R&D and stuff that goes into these factory teams is like millions of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
So it's not fair regardless of you know.
That's the thing. And the thing is just make it wide open, dude. Just make it fucking wide open. Who fucking cares? Make the 250 class wide open, make the 450 class wide open. And I'm saying wide open, they run every single round.
Yeah.
250 and 450. Because what's the difference between a 250 and a 450 guy right now?
I mean, on the top factory 250s, I've heard they're pretty much a 450, and
they
go through the bumps.
You want to know the difference?
Better.
You get paid about $100,000 less to race half the Supercross races.
Yep.
Sick. Anyway, so yeah, and yeah, like you said, I mean, dude, they can do dumb things like they can fucking get an acid tank and, you know, get the frame lighter or whatever. And then, like, I always thought for a long time up until like the last couple of years of like, oh, they have to use stock frames and stuff. Oh, well, yeah, but you can brace it and you could do this and you could do that. But okay, wait, what?
Yeah.
So, like, we got to start with a stock frame. Like, it has to look stock. I don't know.
There's a lot of ways they work around it.
It's, dude, to me, it's just like, dude, let's just go full MotoGP. Let's see what these guys can really fucking build. Let's go back to fucking true factory spec bikes like we had in the 80s. Oh, God, be so cool. Be so cool. I can only imagine what they could do with that stuff. Like the MotoGP. Can you imagine, like, the guys just roll up to the line for the gate drop in Supercross and the bike just goes like active suspension down. Oh,
I know
God,
they have the
so
technology to be able to do that. They just haven't been able to transfer it over to
the
bikes.
The thing I've heard about like some of that active suspension stuff is that they can't dial it in for whoops yet.
Okay.
So it's kind of like that Alpine Stars airbag thing.
Yep.
Yeah, they were struggling with the G forces with motocross for a while. And now they've kind of got it dialed in, which is why we're starting to see it. But anyway, okay. Tangent over. Back to 450s here. Colt Nichols goes 38.9 for 14th. What could have been? Cody Schott, great start that second moto there. Whole shot leading. Hell yeah. 11.20 for 15th. Michigan's own Mitchell Harrison goes 18.14 for 16th. Derek Drake, 36.11 for 17th. Derek Drake's sneaky good. He was like 5th fastest in that first qualifying. Like, they put up the results, and he was, like, 5th fastest. He is, like, sneaky good there.
He's super talented on the bike, too.
Yeah.
Like, growing up, going to a lot of the amateur events, Derek Drake, he was honestly comparable to Jet Lawrence back in the amateur day. I mean, obviously it hasn't shaped out, but just watching how he rides, his style.
Well, didn't he had some sort of health thing though?
Yeah,
right?
with his heart. I believe.
Yeah. So
he's
I think
been through some things.
Yeah, I think that set him back a little bit because he came in. He was a TLD KTM guy, right? Yeah.
Red Bull KTM back in the day.
Roman Pope, 16-17 for 18th. Jason Anderson goes 12.40 for 19th. So both Kawasaki's have issues that second moto.
Not a good look.
Weird. Weird. And Derek Kelly rounding out the top 20, going 21.15 for 20th. Let's see here. Anybody else 450 wise? Anybody else you want to talk about? Any other comments you got here?
Well, I mean, I got a little inside. I know my friend I trained with, Connor Visker. He's a local guy who does a lot of the Supercross and Motocross series. He's been out there. He was on the gate for 450 Moto 2. and you can actually see his name listed there on the TV.
Yeah.
They basically made him pull off the gate because the guy showed up like basically right as the gate was dropping. He had already done the sight lap and everything. So
You're shitting me.
I mean, I've talked to him. He said, yeah, I should have been faster in qualifying, but they do have a rule if you're like, I think he got 6th or 7th in the 450 LCQ. So if you're close to that threshold, you can, roll up to the gate and see if, if someone doesn't show up, they want a full gate, especially since yesterday it was on NBC. So for TV purposes, they want a full gate. So I guess he did the sight lap. He was out there, and then they made him pull off the gate. So
I would be throwing a fucking fit at the AMA trailer. So what the fuck is last call for?
I don't know.
Who was he in there for?
I'd have to ask him. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, we should ask because who was he in there for? Like, because again, here I'm gonna go. If he's just if you're just swapping out privateer for privateer, again, get fucked. Okay, get fucked. I don't. You know what? I don't even care. Fuck it. Factory guy. If you can't fucking show up, you can't fucking show up.
Yeah, I mean it's part of the rules. You got to be there before the gate drops, and so
this is another one. AMA never fucking changed here. Like, bro, you're gonna have to text him. And you're gonna have to let me know because I'm super interested in who fucking came in and replaced him.
Yeah,
So
I'll have to text
so
him.
he's riding a 450 this summer.
Yeah, he's riding the 450 beta, so they're pretty close with the Gardeners who run the beta team.
Okay.
So yeah, he's really improved the last few rounds, and he's really liking the beta.
Does he rev it like he revved the 250, or is he smoothed out a little bit? Because the 250, he was very rev happy.
Oh yeah.
And I would always be at the tracks and be like, bro, please calm down. just stop, please.
I actually haven't seen him ride the beta 450, but I imagine he's riding it a lot more smooth because unless you're Justin Barsha, it's really hard to ride a 450 wide open like that.
Just cranked.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah. So, and again, I've never met the kid. He's probably nice. I don't know. I've never met Connor in person, but like I said, we've been at tracks. I think I was at Bucks at one point. And he was there. And they were like, I was like, who is that? And they're like, oh, it's Connor Visker. And I was like, bro, off the limit. Shift. 3rd gear. Works great. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So, so no hate comms, man. You're way faster than I'll ever hope to be. Like, everybody just chill down. But, all right. So that's been your 450 race recap brought to you by our friends at Gutterworks. Always well hung, just like Justin Barsha. Holy shit. There's a lot of chat happening here. Tim Cross in here. Urbana, Ohio in the house. Big Brother is watching. Do you think Eli has thoughts in his head when he looks ahead and he is ripping and Jet looks like he's trail riding? No, I don't think so. Chase is out now. AP is hauling ass. Do you think the factories have A and B bikes? Would you care to comment on factories not giving everyone all the parts?
I mean, I think they have A and B guys. I think so. If we're gonna talk with KTM, Red Bull KTM, I think Chase was their A guy and AP is their B guy.
Yeah.
But as far as engine packages or suspension packages, I think they all have access to the same thing. I would think. So yeah, I think Chase and AP, they're both on the same bike, or they have access to the same resources. They might set it up differently, but I think that's solely rider preference.
Yeah, and Tim, as far as that goes, like, okay, there are situations, I'm sure you've heard of this, with like the Star Yamahas, where when you're on your way out the door, you don't get new development. I want to word this correctly here because we've been slaughtered in the comments for this before, and we've been slaughtered in person for this before of saying that, like, oh, they weren't giving him parts. Okay. Every team is developing. If they develop a new part, the top guys get it first if they want it. Okay, that's how this works here. And then it filters its way out once they get more parts made. Okay. So, but with the KTM thing, obviously we all think Chase is on his way out. We'll get to that in halftime here. But AP is going to be there. So AP is getting obviously everything, and I believe they've had everything. I haven't heard about any parts really that they didn't have enough of or enough made or whatever. Now it'll be interesting. Now, again, I think when and if Chase comes back, and I guess we can get into this. Complete Racing Solutions halftime report here, brought to you by Complete Racing Solutions and Energy Fuel, and we'll talk about Energy Fuel at the end here. I don't know if Chase comes back. I think he does. He's saying red, bud. However, my TLR tinfoil hat for entertainment purposes only here, no inside knowledge, is I don't think he's getting paid. KTM's having money issues. He won 9 Supercross races at an average of, we'll call it $100K bonus per race from the manufacturer themselves. And that's on the low end from what I'm hearing nowadays. I've heard it's up now to about $150K for a 450 main event win. That means they owe him on low end $900 to $1 million in bonuses alone. That's not counting
Regular
his
salary,
$2.5 million salary that he's making. KTM doesn't have that per se. I know everything's fine at KTM USA. I too know how to run PR and propaganda. It's fine. So I don't know if we see Chase back. And it's very interesting too because like last week, Ian Harris tells Lewis Phillips, oh no, he'll be back for Southwick. Lewis puts that up. Chase immediately comments on it. No, I fucking won't. I haven't really seen that before.
Yeah.
Now, let's get into this because we're Complete Racing Solutions halftime report. We are TLR tinfoil. Well, we're our TLR tinfoil hat segment here, which is basically our silly season because there's so much shit happening. I assume you're on the same train with us that Chase is going to Kawasaki.
That's what I've heard.
Okay.
That's correct.
How do you think that is, sitting there watching Prado struggle here?
I mean, yeah, it's if I'm Chase, I'm looking at that, and it's not a comforting feeling. But, you know, Chase is so talented on the bike, and seeing him move from Honda, which I thought he looked great on the Hondas besides, you know, the occasional tuck in the front end, which it seems like he's had that issue, you know, across brands.
Wait, you mean that wasn't a bike issue? This may be an actual issue with the rider himself. That doesn't. You are crazy over here. God, Noah, you are crazy, man.
I mean, I'm not hating on Chase. Chase is, you know,
Chase
10
is
times faster than me.
ridiculously
He rides the
fucking
bike
good, bro.
Amazing. But I think he'll transfer over to the Kawasaki fairly well, just because we've seen him transfer from the Honda to the KTM. Okay. But yeah, it's not a comforting feeling seeing Anderson and Prado struggle in these first few.
I'll tell you what, man. If he's not signed, this is you're looking at Prado and you're talking to Prado, I assume, because all these guys talk, and you're going, "Hey, man, what's the deal with the bike?" And he's telling you, "Slow as shit, and they can't get my setup right." The biggest, craziest monkey wrench in all this would be if Chase doesn't sign with Kawasaki.
Yeah.
Like, if that deal's not done, if it is truly what they say of, it's not done, and he still has a KTM deal on the table, then this fucks everything into oblivion. Because let's face it, so if we follow how this goes, right? So right now the way it's supposed to go is Chase is supposed to go to Kawasaki. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, not Levi. Eli is going to go to KTM.
That's what I've heard. Yep.
And let's see, is there any other big moving pieces? I don't think so. So those are the two big moving pieces. They're still yet to fall. If Eli's not signed and Chase isn't signed, and all of a sudden Chase goes, "Okay, cool, I'm going to stay at this KTM because at least I can still get results on it," then all of a sudden, what does Eli do?
Yeah. Yeah, especially, I mean, that's a good point, you know, thinking that Eli is going to go to KTM. If that truly is the reason why Chase would want to leave KTM, because due to financial reasons, if I'm Eli, that's not comforting, you know.
So that's been a big question of mine here for a couple of weeks too, since I've heard the KTM thing become very prevalent with him.
Yeah.
So I know he took a huge pay cut when he left Kawasaki and went to Yamaha, but he wanted to go to that Yamaha, huge. Like he went from like over 2 to under 1.
Yeah. That's
from what I understand. Then obviously he did what he did on that Yamaha the first couple of years. Huge pay upgrade. Now obviously you've got Webb wins a title, he gets a pay raise. You've got Jay Coop hits his numbers, he gets a pay raise and a re-sign. And you've got to make room for this gigantic behemoth coming, a.k.a. Deegan, into 450s next year. So, yeah, sorry, there's just no money for you, Eli. But, like I said, where Eli gets fucked here is if for some reason by some happenstance, Chase is not already signed into a Kawasaki deal and re-signs with KTM. And then, like I said, sorry, I went down a wrong path there. Took a wrong turn. So that's what blows my mind with Eli, though, is like, so you're going to go there and not get, because again, all these guys talk. He can call Chase.
Mm-hmm.
He can get Chase's number if he doesn't have it already and be like, hey, man, what's the deal? And Chase can tell him, well, I'm not getting paid. And, I mean, I don't know about you, but if someone's trying to hire me and I'm talking to their employees and they're saying, hey, I'm not getting paid, I'm probably not going to go there and work.
Not a good look.
No. So, I don't know. Maybe he goes to Ducati, like they keep saying. But that, to me, is weird, too, because that's untested, unproven.
Yeah.
But obviously, he rode it. I don't know that his deal's signed either because he rode that Ducati the week of Paula.
Really? I did not know that.
The Ducati truck was in Cortez.
Okay.
And the guy who is head of racing for Ducati literally checked in on his LinkedIn or something in Cortez, Colorado.
Wow. Okay.
Wonder why he's out there.
Huh.
Strange to see.
Yeah.
Strange to see.
I mean, that might be a good fit if Eli's looking to move to the KTM. I mean, just by watching Supercross this last year, especially some of the rounds where the tracks were really dry and hard-packed, I think it's no secret that the KTM really worked a lot better on those tracks. So I can see why Eli is thinking maybe KTM would be a good fit for Supercross. But just by looking at the Ducati and how the bike looks and how it's been handling since they've developed it, it looks to me quite a bit like a KTM. So maybe that would be a good fit for Eli.
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't really seen a whole bunch. Have you watched some of the videos that they put out this week riding it?
Out in Italy. Yep.
Yeah. I haven't watched any of those yet. So I'm interested to see what happens with it. I'm interested to listen to some stuff here because I've heard there's a whole bunch of development stuff they got to see while they were out there, and there's a whole bunch of bikes coming from them. So I don't know. I really thought Ducati would come in, throw a whole bunch of money around. I haven't heard that's what is going to happen. So
yeah,
I don't know. It is wild. It's wild that it's not set in stone yet for
it's crazy
silly
for next
season.
year. Yeah.
And in fact, I'll go into a bit of a holster co reload rant here for this, okay? Because every other sport, when they are changing teams, whatever, it's a big deal, and you get to know almost as soon as it's happening because they want the publicity. It is, and what does great? Silly season talk with us too. Does fucking great. But for some dumb reason, our sport's like, no, don't talk about that. Don't talk about him leaving Yamaha. Okay, why not? Let's have a fucking farewell tour from Yamaha with Eli. He's been there for however many years now. He's won multiple titles. He's a fucking legend. Let's have a farewell Eli tour. And let's put out there where he signed. I mean, dude, look at Formula One. You follow Formula One at all?
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, last year, big news. Lewis Hamilton's
yeah.
going to Ferrari.
Yep.
We find that out before the season even starts.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
I think in this industry, a lot of the information is kept under the wraps, probably just because that's the way it's always been. But
Fuck
yeah,
the way it's always been. Let me just put that out there. Fuck it.
But yeah, we see it in other sports, like NFL. If you'll hear trade rumors, and the guys will be fairly open with where they're wanting to go. And I think, we hear rumblings in our industry, but it's not as open. Even with, like you said, F1 with Lewis moving from
F1, NASCAR, take your pick. And here's the thing, I don't understand, dude. If I'm Eli, I want it out there that I'm talking to KTM and Ducati. Play them off each other. Why not? Make more money. Make more money.
Yeah, Eli or his agent, I'm sure they're doing that. So,
yeah.
I mean, I would recommend he do that. Talk to more teams, see what you can get. I mean, at the end of the day, Eli is moving into his veteran years of racing. And as we've seen maybe with some of these other guys like Chad Reed, once you get to that part of your career, you're just the fan favorite. So he's a super valuable asset for wherever team he ends up with.
Yeah, he is a fan guy now.
Yeah.
He is a fan guy. We've been through that point where people didn't like him, where he was kind of shut out because he was just pissed off he had to actually work all the time. That's what drives me crazy too, man. I hear this shit all the time with this, and it drives me nuts. Oh, man, well, you know, they got to do 31 races and this, that, and the other thing. And I understand from a training perspective, because me and Coach Rob talk about this all the time. Shout out Coach Rob, Complete Racing Solutions halftime report that we're in right now. We talk about this all the time about burning these guys out and stuff, and I fully get it. I understand whatever. Guess what? I get up at 5:30 in the fucking morning every day. I come stand in a shop that's 110 fucking degrees all fucking summer long, and then go home and have to do yard work and all this bullshit like that to get paid pennies per day to do this. Pennies. Somebody wants to pay me $500,000 a year to race my fucking dirt bike, be in shape, and fucking travel. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in
Sign me
all
up.
day and twice on. Like,
Yeah.
what? Well, I gotta do this, and then there's the fans and stuff. You mean people admire you, and like, you have to go to these places and do these things, and like people pamper you while you're there because it's like especially if you're for a factory team. Now, someone like you who's going to the races, like yes, you're setting up your own ice bath,
Yep.
you're washing your own bike, you're doing your own
100%.
bike maintenance, whatever, you know, stuff like it's costing you money out of pocket to be there. You're not
Yeah.
getting paid to be there.
Yeah.
But like for these guys, it's like nope, they're setting up the ice bath, food's there for you. If you're someone like Eli or whatever, you get to dictate what the food is.
Yeah.
Like there's all this shit like it's like what? What do you mean? I don't understand. I don't understand. And you're making enough to take your family with you. So like not only are you traveling, you take the family with you. Great. I don't know, man. Blows my fucking mind. And again, I understand that there's a level of athleticism and physical fitness that you have to maintain to be able to do this at the highest level. But I'll trade you
Yeah.
all day.
Yes. Like I was saying, sign me up. The way I look at it, I think it's all about perspective. You know, a lot of people didn't like Ryan Villapoto back in the day because he said, you know, it's just a lot of work and he's just doing it for the money. And I think if I was in their shoes, I could see how they could think that because really a lot of those guys, that's all they know. That's all they've ever done. They've never really done anything else. So they don't have that perspective of, you know, the everyday person who has to wake up, like you said, early in the morning, work your job, you know, pennies on the dollar and, you know.
Literally.
Yeah.
How much do you make an hour? 25 cents. Fuck.
So they don't really have that perspective. And so I think a lot of those guys, they might take it for granted just because they don't really know anything else that's out there. But, you know, to a average fan who's out there working, you know, to make a living, yeah, these guys have it great. They have it made. But also on the other hand, like, you know, they are paid a lot of money because they got to take risks and do things that the average
100%.
person would never want to do. And if they even fathom doing it, they would say no. So I see it. I do see it.
Wait,
both
you mean
ways.
the average person can't jump on a supercross track and ride?
You know,
I
they
don't
might think they
understand.
can, but it's, you know, once they walk out there, you know, their eyes will go, whoa, you know, really open up. And,
you know,
yeah.
it's a lot different when
Yeah.
you're actually on it. Okay.
100%.
So, yeah. Okay. So now we've ranted about that. Man, I'm not sure I want to do my rant, but I'm not sure I want to do my rant because when I was doing it during the stream the other night, what the fuck's happening here? Why does it say the stream's not working? Unbelievable. What a joke.
Technology has a mind of its own. For sure.
Yeah, who knows? I don't know. We're looking at you right now. we were looking at you staring at me. It's delayed, so it's crazy, right? Because it's delayed it's delayed 20, 30 seconds or whatever. Let's see here. Tim says, good luck, Chase at Kawasaki. The grass is not always greener. True, we just covered that. Can you imagine Jet on Geyser's bike? You follow the MXGP stuff a lot?
Yeah, Tim, he's on Honda.
Yeah, Timmy
right
G.
now.
Yeah, that would be crazy because that is like a factory bike per
100%
se.
custom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you see the post race where Hopper asked Eli about going to KTM and AP said, "Dude, what the fuck are you talking about?"
I watched that video.
Jet was laughing. Eli was shooting darts at Hopper. Hopper might have just lost his credential. He didn't lose his credential over that fucking question. It wasn't It probably wasn't the greatest idea to ask it, but it was funny too because AP was just like, bro, I've been teammates with Dungy and Cairoli, and like this will just be another one in the books or whatever. So. Yeah, I don't think he'll lose his credential over that, but it was a bold move by that. I'll have to text him and ask him about that later because, yeah, that was when I saw that, I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, Eli looked like he was having none of that. Like
No,
he was
Eli
like,
was like, bro, shut the fuck up.
I mean, that's a tough situation to put Eli in.
It is a bit, like I said, it's a bit aggressive to do that one in public like that and in front of everyone. So... but bravo to him because these guys need to ask these hard questions, man. Like shit needs to be, and here's the thing, like you ask that, guess what? It's on Hopper's page, probably getting a gazillion fucking views. Guarantee you it will get cut on other people's pages and get a gazillion views if Supercross and SMX and them don't cut it themselves and put it up. Because I'll almost guarantee you they will. Like, works the same way as like the guys fighting in the middle of the track or whatever,
it's
right?
Good for this. I mean,
don't do it, but we're gonna use it for every fucking thing, and it'll be the most viewed video we'll have all fucking year. So
it's good for the sport as far as views in that regard, but they don't. They want to do everything a set way, and there's like certain rules for the media people and stuff. So they don't like it that way, but they're gonna use it for their advantage for views for sure.
100%. So. Okay, you know what? Screw it. We're just going to go into it here. So, Holsterco Reload rant here. Okay. So, I touched on this in the members live stream the other day. I'm going to touch on this again here. Shit, that camera's out already. Okay, the Pride post there, okay? Feld and SMX are a gigantic company. These gigantic companies are all about these stupid fucking things like that, right? Whether we all agree with it or not doesn't really matter. It's kind of like Coca-Cola and all this shit like that. Like Coca-Cola told me I should be less white, and I'm still drinking Coca-Cola, so it's fine. Mostly because Pepsi fucking sucks. Unless they want to sponsor me with a bunch of money, then Pepsi's the greatest thing ever, but I prefer Coke 100%. So anyway, so they put up the Pride thing. Obviously, everybody saw it. All the top guys were like, nah, bro. Yeah. And then this is where I'm going to get into a rant, right? So it gets brought up on Pulp this week, and Steve starts to go into it, and Steve is very liberal, man, and I'm not even going crazy liberal, but he's liberal, dude. And he's honestly kicking outside of his zone here. Like, Steve, because he's liberal, doesn't understand some of the things that are happening on the back end of things that they're trying to do with society. And because of this, he starts running his mouth about, well, I don't care if you're gay. Like, you shouldn't care. Nobody should care, and we should make everybody feel included. Okay, cool. Guess what? Cooper Webb, Ken Roxon, all those guys that commented also don't really fucking care if you're gay. If you're gay, they don't care. If you're lesbian, they don't care. Probably think it's fucking awesome like most dudes. Whatever. Chicks on chicks. We all think it's cool. Whatever. Anyway. But the Pride Month thing itself is what the fucking problem is, and it's being pushed. Again, none of us, I was great friends with a gay guy for a while. I still am friends with him. I still see him occasionally. Hey, bro, what's up? Whatever. We don't hang out like we used to. I don't ride street bikes like I used to. We used to ride street bikes all the time. I would go out to the bars with him. Everything, dude. Like, we were really good buddies. Again, didn't give a shit that he was gay. Okay? Didn't matter to me. Now I'm starting to get more spiritual. I'm starting to go down that path. Yes, with the Bible and God don't necessarily agree with that, but that's, again, their load to bear. Like, it's their cross to carry, okay? It's not mine, and I don't have to be mean to them. I don't have to be shitty to him. I can explain to him, like, hey, this isn't what God wanted, and he's got to make that choice.
That's right.
I'm very big into this fact of, if you're not harming anyone, in particular children, especially children, because then I will fucking harm you also, I don't really give a shit what you're doing in your personal life, okay? If you want to take it up the butt, fucking have at it, buddy. Whether it's from your wife or your boyfriend, I don't fucking care. The problem being is that is not what the pride thing stands for. The pride thing got hacked. The pride thing got abused. It's like a damn victim now. Okay, like it's not. What it used to be was, hey, be okay with gay people, and everyone was like, all right, cool. Like I don't really fucking care. Mm-hmm. And then what happened was because everybody said I don't care, they were like, oh, well, what's the next extreme we can go to? And now it's fucking Transformers and fucking whatever the fuck else, dude. And so it's like, and then again, even a guy called into Pulp and was like, look, dude, it's because they're going after the kids with it. And again, this is where Steve is outside of his knowledge base. Steve is a smart man. He reads a lot, but he's in a certain box. And when he doesn't get outside of that, which he doesn't understand the things that are going on. Yes, they're going after the children. That's why you have these drag queen events and all this bullshit like that. And yes, this is getting very political and all this shit, and I don't give a fuck. If you don't want to watch, sweet, awesome, cool, whatever. Don't fucking care. But that's the problem with the pride thing. And that's why you have Ryan Villapoto and Ken Roxon and Cooper Webb all saying no fucking way.
Yeah.
Like, this is fucking ridiculous, which is then why you have to turn the comments off, because you want to stand up here and say, yeah, do they really care if a bunch of fucking gay dudes come and watch the race? No, they don't fucking care. They're going to say, thanks for coming. Yeah. They're going to sign the autographs these dudes want. They're going to have a conversation with them about racing. They're going to do all of that. Okay. And they're fine with that. And basically everyone is fine with that, right? Yes, there are some fucking loonies out there that aren't and are going to confront you about it. They also have it like, bro, calm her down. Like, let's just fucking take a chill pill here. Peace and love. Peace and love. Okay? But that's the problem. And like I said, I'm just ranting because, like, Steve gets on these soapboxes about certain things and gets outside his purview, which is what he did. He got outside his purview talking about, oh, nobody cares. Yes, nobody cares. What we care about is the Pride Month thing itself, how it got hijacked, what it's standing for, and what it's trying to do. And again, I understand, Steve, you're not blessed with kids like some of us. So you don't understand this battle that we're having currently to keep our kids safe. But this is part of it, of keeping our kids safe. And I will 100% tell you, Cooper Webb, Ryan Villapoto are guys just like me that are like, yeah, you just stay the fuck away from my kids.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I don't really give a fuck. But, like, you stay the fuck away from my kids. Cool. Awesome. Sweet. And that is my Holster Co. Reload rant of, like, Steve, just stay in your purview, bro. Just stay in your lane. Say, look, I don't think it's cool. We should welcome the gays. Which, again, none of us, I really think, have an issue with it. Yeah. And, like, let's move on.
So I didn't listen to the Pulp MX show, so I didn't hear Steve's whole rant there. But as far as the post, from a business decision, I think it's very interesting. I took a sports marketing class while I was at school at FSU, and the professor told us he didn't care, if you're left-leaning, right-leaning, or any of your views. Mm-hmm. Anytime you do that, especially in a sport like motocross, that's typically, more blue-collar, right-leaning, I would say. You're alienating half of your viewership when you make a post or a decision like that. Mm-hmm. So I would disagree as far as a business decision to post that, because it's completely against, the majority of their audience. And even if they went the other way and posted something far right, you're still alienating,
Yeah, I mean, if I'm them, I'm not posting a fucking Trump thing either. Yeah, exactly. No matter how you feel about it either way. Like, I'm not posting a Trump thing either, because all you're going to do is alienate people. That's why, like, with my business, I try to stay very center. Obviously, this is a talk show. We're talking. We're having a conversation. Mm-hmm. I'm going to tell you how I feel. You can either stay and listen or you can't. I don't fucking really care. But, like, as far as, like, my businesses themselves, it's like, dude, yeah, I'm not out there posting Trump shit. I'm not out there posting loony leftist shit. Yeah. I'm trying to stay very center with that of, like, and what I mean by center is this is what we do. Yep. We fucking powder coat shit. Yeah. Okay? We're not politically powder coating shit. We powder coat shit. That's it. Yes. What do? We race fucking dirt bikes here. Sweet. Yep. Let's stick with that. Yeah. Okay? No one gives a shit either way. But again, here you go. What happened? You're a big corporation. You tried to go down this path here, and it bit you hard in the ass. Yeah. When you have to turn your comments off,
it's not a good look.
It's a terrible look. Yeah. And then, too, I mean, I'll be honest. There was a point when that was up there that I was like, man, if they press this anymore, like, we're not doing the show this week. Like, we're gonna full blown, we're boycotting it to our own way of we're not doing the show because like I can't fucking support that. Like, and again, it's just like, dude, like just stay in your again. SMX, and I haven't ranted on them for a while either. But like, just stay in your lane. What are we doing? We're racing fucking dirt bikes. Nobody gives a shit who you're fucking. Right. No one cares. No one cares, but stay in your fucking lane with it.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to guess, I think it'd come from the TV broadcast. So whether
has
it
to
be
be an NBC thing.
NBC decision that way, I don't think the powers that be would want to make such a divisive post if it weren't, someone from higher up.
The crazy thing is like we haven't seen anything like that before.
Yeah. Well, I know with the whole implementation of SMX, I know they're trying to make motocross and supercross more mainstream. So my guess is they're trying to emulate what they're doing, maybe more towards like NFL or NBA. And, we see with a lot of the NFL teams, it comes June 1st. So not all of them, but
that's another thing in those sports leagues too.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you see? You see the guys pushing back on it all the time.
Yeah, you're dividing your fan base.
Yeah.
Which is never a good business
Which
decision.
is fucking dumb.
Yeah.
It's fucking dumb for them.
Yep.
It's fucking dumb for us. Please stop. Don't do this again. I'm literally begging, don't do this again because, like I said, there will come a point that it's like, dude, okay, fine, I can't be involved in this. Like, I'll be casual, but, like, that's it. Like, right now, I do my best to try to promote the sport in a decent light of, like, hey, the racing's awesome, these personalities are awesome, things like that. But, like, I can't fucking do, I don't know.
They can have their view on it, just the fans don't want it, thrown down their throats and in their face. At the end of the day, I think that's what that post was.
That was the problem, yeah. And again, too, like you said, from a business standpoint, okay, at least 3/4 of your demographic is the other side.
Yeah. 100%.
So now you're going to go to this small demographic here, which maybe doesn't even make up the full 25% over here. And, like, how many do you lose over here? That's the problem.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there are some people that are like, yep, I'm done. I will no longer watch
I'm sure there are.
Supercross, Motocross, SMX playoffs.
Which is unfortunate because, we all love the sport. We all want to watch it and support it. And so it's tough when stuff like that happens.
Yep. So that was my Holster reload rant on that. Okay, let's have a little conversation here. So you've been down south. You've gone to, where did you go to college at?
I went to school at FSU, Florida State University in Tallahassee.
Okay. And then you were training at
Georgia practice facility in Cairo, Georgia.
Yep. Okay. Let's talk about that. How do you end up at GPF?
So I believe it was the fall of 2016 or 2017. I was just on 85s or super minis at the time. We were, I was in school, high school. I went through high school, public school here in the local area. Anyways, we were making the drive down to Minios down in Gainesville, and we wanted to get some riding in before the motocross portion of Minios. So we had, just on the way down there, we stopped at GPF. The Woods family were really welcoming and accommodating for us at that time to help us get some laps in before Minios. So we stopped there, and we really enjoyed it quite a bit. So we went down to Minios, and then after that Minios, we ended up going back to Cairo, Georgia to park our motorhome there because we loved it so much. We left the motorhome there, and then ever since 2016, 2017, we'd leave the motorhome down there in the wintertime so we wouldn't have to winterize it up here. And then we'd go down back and forth throughout the winter, maybe once or twice on a long weekend here and there to get some riding in. So that's how I ended up at GPF.
Okay. All right. And then the Woods family, they're Michigan locals too, right?
That's correct.
Originally?
Yeah, they're from Detroit area. I know Ray and even Terry, they worked for the auto manufacturers over there on the east side of the state. So they're Michigan born and bred.
And then they have a Supercross track, right?
They do.
One or multiples? I don't know there.
So when we first started going there, they actually had an arena cross team. They were doing a lot of arena cross series. They won some championships with that. They had a Kawasaki team. So they had a full-blown arena cross track and then a full-blown pro supercross track. Now they have a kind of a tamed down supercross track, but it's still pretty technical. They'll call it like an amateur supercross track, but it still has a lot of the bigger jumps. But they're a little bit more tame. So like if an amateur guy goes out there, he's not going to die, trying a triple or something like that.
Thank God, because that's always a worry.
Yeah. So they still have a full-blown supercross track there. Their outdoor track's amazing. They have a turn track. So it's a good facility.
Okay. So, just to be correct, no AJ Cat Zero there anymore.
Yeah, I think, yeah, you guys probably have heard about all that, how a lot of that went down. AJ was going to buy GPF and turn that into the Moto Academy, I think, down there in Cairo, Georgia. But yeah, it's safe to say that deal definitely fell through, and the Woods family right now retain ownership, as far as I know. So.
Yeah. Have you been to club or anything like that?
I have. I've been to club a couple of times back around COVID time. My sister was dating a guy in South Carolina, North Carolina area. So there's 1 or 2 times I was able to go out there for a week and train at club. And that, like I said, was 3 or 4 years ago. But they definitely had a great program going there, and just seeing what they've done and the amount of money they've really invested in the facility, even within the last year or two, it's really mind-blowing. I think they're taking the whole idea of like motocross and building like a full-blown training facility, like almost like a campus. They literally have everything you could think of and more to be at club. And I think you see that with like Chad Reed and his kids moving there. And if you want to make it, I think a lot of the guys are looking for a place like club to do your training.
Yeah, club has made a lot of strides, and they've taken in like, I think Anderson's there still. I don't know if Prado's going there or not. I think he is. So they're definitely turning it up.
Yeah.
As far as the pro stuff goes, and they've got Daniel Blair in there too, doing shit. So that's cool. A lot of cool things. Have you ever been to MTF?
So I don't know if your viewers know, GPF and MTF are actually like right next door to each other.
Oh, that's right.
They have a fence in between, so it's kind of like Romeo and Juliet. Like you got the Capulet and the Montagues, if any of you guys know that reference.
This is how we know you went to college, because you know the names from the Romeo and Juliet thing, and you're just like, yeah, so.
The GPF people and the MTF people, they don't really gel too well. They kind of got like that bad blood.
Oh, okay.
So I've never like full on trained at MTF. I have rode over there. They do open rides. At least when I was down there, is every Friday you could go over, pay $20 and ride the whole day. So
yeah.
As far as facility wise, or at least the track, they're quite a bit different. MTF's mostly a clay base, so it's pretty hard pack. Whereas GPF, their moto track is kind of sandy, a lot more like the Michigan tracks around here. So they definitely are a little bit different. So it was good. I'd go over there while I was training at GPF just to ride something different.
Yeah.
It was good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And then you're going to make your pro debut this summer.
That's correct. Yeah. Hopefully within the next week or so, maybe High Point if we can get all the bikes together. So that'd be this upcoming weekend. If not High Point, probably I believe there's a week off in between High Point and Southwick. I'd really like to get a race in before Redbud. Obviously, that would be like the hometown race. So I'd like to get one under my belt, just kind of see how everything goes. Because, besides riding, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes as far as like tech inspection. And it's completely different than like a normal amateur local race. Like they got, everything set to a certain time, and if you're not there, you got to be on top of things. And I was able to learn that a little bit. I did 3 of the Moto Combines back a year or so ago, and they kind of were teaching us, this isn't like your local normal race. Like they have a set schedule and you got to be on it. And if you're not, then you're just going to get left behind. So I'd like to at least race High Point, Southwick, or maybe both of them before Redbud, just to get everything kind of under my belt and in my system before I race the hometown race at Redbud.
and then after, are you going to Spring Creek and stuff?
Yeah, that's the plan. After Redbud, for sure, I'm planning on doing the rest of them, with the exception being Washougal, maybe, just because that's such a far drive out there. But if an opportunity arises, I'd love to go race Washougal.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
It'd be cool.
It'd be super cool. And then you're still working on your points for your Supercross license, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, we were just talking about it before the show. This fall, I'm planning on doing some of the road to Supercross races. They change it every year, so I'm gonna have to look and see, what's eligible.
You mean the AZ Open that you were going to? That was like, I don't even think AZ Cycle Park's open anymore.
If they don't have that, then obviously I'm not gonna drive halfway across the country, show up, and have a chain around the fence there. But
oh man,
I know Minios, they do a road to Supercross thing there, so we have a Supercross track. I plan on practicing this fall and then be set to go for events like that to hopefully gain my points for Supercross.
Yeah, I'm hoping to come out at the Supercross track sometime.
Yeah, heck yeah. You're always
without your grandpa coming after me.
Yeah, there you go.
That was funny.
Yeah, that's a whole story.
Dude, that was so funny. And I was just thinking about that before we started too, and I was like, and the first thing he said to me is, "Well, what? So you're not out here hunting?" I'm on my mountain bike with like my gloves and my helmet on. No, sir, I'm not out here hunting. I'm literally like, I know this track's here. Like, sorry, sir. I don't know. He was fine. He was fine. It was super funny though. It was super duper.
Yeah, he's just like that. They've had people wander on their land, and there's been issues.
Oh, I get
in
it.
The past,
Trust me, I get it. I wasn't upset about it. I was just like, oh boy, here we go. Please don't shoot me. Please don't shoot me right off the rip here. I'm just trying to look at some dirt mounds. Get shot looking at dirt mounds. Shit.
That's funny.
Oh man, it was a thing. So, all right. Anything else you got for halftime here? I don't think I have anything else here. Nope, sure don't. So that's been your Complete Racing Solutions halftime report. This month for Complete Racing Solutions, we are highlighting Energy Fuel here, which is an awesome drink that you can have on like race day or these hot days whenever you're doing strenuous activity, or like me, if you're just in a 110-degree shop all day sweating your balls off. Jesus Christ, I got breathe and not swallow at the same time. Has electrolytes in it, has calories in it, all the good stuff, so that way you're putting back into your body what you're losing out of it. So especially like with racing motocross, it is a fantastic thing in between motos because you're not chomping down food or whatever, and especially if you're racing more than one class, you don't have much time, it's hot. It's awesome for that. So Energy Fuel, check out Coach Rob, the Coach Rob store, and CompleteRacingSolutions.com. There are links in the description down below. Okay, also, don't forget Rev X Products putting us on here. Check out RevXOil.com there for your max power. I am actually, amazingly, my bike is now in the garage getting prepped, so I might be able to ride it before the end of the month.
What type of bike do you have, Travis?
I have a 2021 YZ250F.
Okay, heck yeah.
So
that's a good bike.
It is fantastic. It is my first brand new bike. Bitcoin just paid it off for me last month, so that was cool. So now I own it outright. No more payments on that thing, so that's awesome. We are doing chain and sprockets, and then an oil change and filter, basic stuff like that. Doesn't have very many hours. I don't get to ride that much, man. And a lot of me riding is the turn track at my house. So I mean, low RPM, low gear, just spinning laps or what. I mean, it's a big turn track. Yeah. It's a 5-acre field when it's not flooded in the middle. But yeah. So I don't do as much maintenance on it as I should. But I'm not wringing the neck of that thing like some people do when they probably. I mean, I assume you probably wring the neck of your 250s a little bit.
Those things, they don't make the power like the 450.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, I don't blame you. With somebody who actually knows how to ride, not myself. Yeah, you got to wring the neck of it. So yeah, no, I've had it. It's power-wise great. I really want to go back to a Honda because I struggle with chassis setup, and I'm gonna do some stuff this year with it. I got the suspension done by TCD last year.
Okay.
Didn't put that many hours on it, so whatever. But one of the things I really struggle with is front end feel on it. So I come from road riding, which means when I go into a corner, that front tire needs to stick and point and go where I want it to go. And one of the things I've always struggled with on that bike is going into a corner and worried that the front end is just going to start to move on me. So I thought getting the suspension done would help with that. It didn't. Just like getting it done and bolting it on, right? Like setting your sag once and going, whatever. It didn't. So I'm going to play with a couple of things. I'm going to play with sag. They had me at, I think it's a 103 to 105 sag. I'm going to go down to like 100 and start playing from there to see if I can get it to load up on that front end and keep the front end from, I guess, tucking a little bit is what we'll call it. Because a lot of what I end up riding on are, like out here, it's very clay-based. And so when it's not wet, we'll call it, you're literally like pebbles on top of hard or whatever, which, again, doesn't have a lot of traction. But I know it's possible because my old Honda had that. Like I had front end feel and I could stick it in a corner and I knew where it was going to go. Where this one I don't.
I have rode that 2021 250F Yamaha. Those old style bikes, they are really hard to turn just because it has so much power. It kind of gave up a little bit on the chassis feel. I will say the new style Yamahas, at least I think in 2023, they switched it over on the 450, and then 2024 for the 250F, they turn a lot better.
Do they?
The bike's a lot more narrow. I know on that old style bike, the shrouds kind of stick out quite a bit. I think that affects the way you feel coming into a corner and turning the bike, at least some of that front end weight. So one of the things I'd heard at some point, somebody told me, they were like, dude, those bikes steer with the rear. And I'm like, oh, so I like went out the next day or within the next week and rode somewhere and like actively thought about it and tried to do it. And I actually was like, this does seem to work a little bit better if I'm like not trying. If I'm going in and going, okay, cool. Okay, sweet. It fucking goes where I want it to go. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to try some setup stuff to see if I can get it on the front end. I will say Eric has both the 25, 250, and 450 Worx Edition Hondas. He said that 250 Worx Edition Honda is like the best bike he's ever rode. And I'm like, oh, shit. There you go.
You're really making me. So I told the wife I was going to get a new one and get that. And she told me I was absolutely fucking not going to get another payment. Well, now I don't have a payment, so seems okay to me.
Yeah, there you go.
But then we also traded off that if I got her a freeze dryer, which for those of you who don't know, a freeze dryer is like $3,500 fucking dollars. If I got her a freeze dryer, I could then go get a new Honda. So I might go get a freeze dryer at some point this summer.
That's a fair deal.
And then also just stop on the way back and get a Worx Edition. But I don't know. We'll see. So it's very nice right now not to have a payment on a bike. So that's cool. So, and I don't know how your situation works, but if you've ever had that, you're like, this is great now. So let's put it this way,
to pay them off,
dude. The older you get, it's really easy to just like sign your name and like go home with new shit. So, which I did a lot in 2020. The shop was rocking and rolling, and I was like, sweet, we want some bikes. I mean, I bought 4 bikes that year. I bought a Pitter, I bought 110, 2 Groms, and that 250F, all within like 2.5 months. So it was like, this is sweet. Then it was like, this is so not sweet.
Then you gotta make the payments, and it's like, oh boy,
dude. I mean, so the crazy thing is, right, is like none of them were crazy, because I always go in and I'm like, dude, just fuck it, whatever. If I'm gonna make a payment on, as long as possible, make the payment as cheap as possible. Literally, I think on the Pitter, I put $1,000 down on that. I was like, yeah, just swipe it for $1,000, whatever, right? Put it on card, because I pay those off right away. And so I did that, and then they literally came back and they were like, you can't put that much down because they can't have a payment be under $100 per month or they won't finance it. And I was like, oh, all right. So then I went to like nothing down, and that payment was like $100.73 a month, like literally the bare minimum they would let me pay. And then we bought the 2 Groms because the chick wanted one. And then I was like, oh, this will be sweet. We'll ride together because I have that thing. And then she was like, oh, no, I won't ride with you if you're on that and I'm on a Grom. So I was like, oh, I guess I got to buy a Grom too. So we bought 2 Groms. Well, for 2 of those, like the payment was like $135 a month, and it was like, oh, all right, well, whatever, dude.
Yeah,
like,
not bad.
yeah, like fucking, not like a small bill, but like you do car payments,
Yeah.
4, 5, 6, $800 a
Yeah.
month. It's like, all right, this is nothing. And then like even the big bike was only like $175 a month. So yes, by the time I was done, I had $500 in bike payments a month. Okay. Now I don't have any, so that's even better.
That's a good feeling.
yeah. So I don't know. It was good times. We'll see what we do with it. I mean, that bike's only got 40 hours on it. So
Yeah, it's not bad.
no, we're averaging like 10 hours a year.
Yeah, there you go.
So if that thing goes for 100 hours, I should have that thing for like 10 years.
Heck
So okay. I guess we can get into our next thing here, unless there's anything else you want to talk about here outside of actual racing. You want to talk about MXGP?
Yeah, I mean, we can get into it a little bit. I haven't really watched a ton.
I haven't watched it either,
of
but I just see the
MXGP.
results here. It looks like Hurling's won.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Hurling's went 1-1.
I know he's been struggling from what I've heard this year, coming
It's
back.
been building.
Yeah,
It's
slowly.
been building, and to be honest, I was on one of the guys on that train of like it's over for him.
Mhm.
He's just not going to get there. Obviously, now he won last week in Germany. Now he goes 1-1 here in Latvia. This is starting to size up, like Lewis Phillips was saying. Was like, yo, just get us to Latvia. We're building. Okay. Here's the thing. Okay, you've been paying attention to it. Do you think Fevre wins this title?
That's a good call. It'd be tough. Where's he at in the standings now? Do you know?
Shit. Well, he ended up 3rd this week.
Okay.
He's still first with 550. Let's see where Coonan is here. Coonan is only 24 points down now. He is at 526.
I think Coonan's going to be tough to beat.
And
in the long
Hurling's
run.
must be. Oh, Hurling's is 7th. Hurling's has had a rough start. But the thing too, they're only halfway.
Yeah, because the MXGP series runs through like the fall. Is that correct?
It's,
It's a long-
whatever, right before Disnations.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's we're only halfway. I don't know, dude. I'll tell you what, I am wildly impressed. Jesus, sorry, dude. I don't even know what the fuck that was. Wildly impressed with Lucas Coonan. Like that is the turnaround from acting like his brother and just hitting the deck every moto to now he's winning 2nd in the points. Because I'll be honest, when this came out that he was going 450s, I was like, holy shit, what a terrible idea.
That's a big move.
He hasn't won a 250, like he's barely won a 250 race, let alone a title, and you're gonna put him on 450. But I'll tell you what, I was way wrong on that, like way wrong.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about RJ moving from the 250 to the 450. Some guys, when they make that jump, they become a whole new rider. It's like a whole new world. So you just never know.
The interesting thing here too is Hurling's is 246 points down. But
Yeah.
if he starts ripping these off, which I don't put it past Jeffrey to be able to do that.
He's going to need some help from these other guys. 240, that's quite a bit.
It
But, I
is-
mean, I know they have a long season, but
It is a lot, but I will tell you, I'm kind of 50-50 on whether Fevre or Coonan wins this. Because
Yeah.
I could see Coonan winning this easy. He's making up points a lot of time. And like Fevre, you can't have a 6th place moto, dude, and win these titles. Like you can't do that. So I don't know. Interesting.
I think they got like Geyser. He was on the Honda, right?
Yeah.
Didn't he get injured?
Yeah.
A few rounds back. It looked
Yeah,
like
it-
Tim was gonna,
Tim
just
was looking good,
cruise
dude.
the championship in, but
Tim was looking good.
I saw that video where he kind of hooked a weird
Yeah, he hooked
off the track, maybe
right
and-
off the track and caught like some dirt clod or something off the track and hit the deck. Yeah, it was really weird.
Do we know, is he gonna be back for the series, or he's out?
No, he's out.
Okay.
He's out. So yeah, no, he won't be back. I can't remember what his injury was, but he won't be back. So, which is a bummer.
Yeah.
Because Gumby Geyser, lining up that next one. So, okay, all right, that's enough. We don't have to kill any more time here. Let's go to 250 race recap, brought to you by our friends at Flo Racing. I actually used Flo Racing this week.
Heck yeah. What for?
Well, I was trying to change tires
Okay.
on the kit. So last weekend, my chick went to Nashville with one of her friends and their mom, little girls' weekend, whatever. And so the kids stayed at the in-laws Thursday and Friday night. Picked her up Saturday, and I was like, hey, we got to work on your bike. She rides a 110, right? She rides. We don't ride a lot, but we ride, okay? And so I had a bunch of parts, like taller bars. Eric's sending us graphics and a seat cover, which I haven't got yet. I've got new plastic sets right over there for it, too, for when we do get the graphics. We put new tires on it, had an FMF exhaust. Let me tell you how this day went. So we started with the exhaust. This exhaust was supposed to be for that bike. I'm pretty sure it's for the generation before because it like fits there, but like the mount's kind of in the wrong spot. And I'm like, fuck, I've had this exhaust for 3 years or more, like literally almost since I bought the bike. So that didn't fit. So there's another $400 I'm going to have to spend. So then, okay, cool. Take the rear wheel off. I got a new chain for it. Realized, I didn't order sprocket, so I got the sprocket here. I got to coat that because I just don't want it to look stock anymore. Yeah. And then I start trying to change tire, and I'm thinking like, this is gonna be easy. I bought Dunlops for it. Yeah. These are gonna be nice. This is gonna be easy.
The little bike tires trying to
fucking suck.
Yeah, it's so much harder than a big bike.
So I popped 2 tubes.
Oh boy.
And I went, yeah, I'm over this. So then I'm like, fuck, I gotta find somebody to do this. So I text Scott at ProFlow. I'm like, hey, man, you change tires? He's like, on or off the bike? I was like, they're going to be off. I'll bring them to you. I just don't have a tube for the rear. He's like, okay. Boom. Bingo, bango, done. Picked him up yesterday out of his trailer. So put him on the bike. Looks great. And, yeah, so the only thing we accomplished last weekend was we got the handlebars on. But we didn't even get that finished because I didn't have grip glue.
Oh, boy.
So, I use lock-on grips on all my stuff.
Okay, yeah.
But the lock-on grips don't come with a throttle cam for a 110. You can buy it. You can buy it separately. So whatever.
That's how they get you.
Yeah. So anyway, so I went. That was why I was at Ziegler's.
Okay.
Grip glue, oil, filter, that kind of stuff. So yeah. So now the tires are on. I got to do the sprocket still, and then we can put that on. I haven't ordered an exhaust yet. I just don't want to spend that $400 right now. I don't want to spend it.
You got to put that old one on Facebook Marketplace or something.
No, man, I'm just going to buy a older generation one and see if it fits. If it doesn't fit that, then yeah. I don't even know how I would sell it because I don't know what it fits.
Yeah.
If I buy an older generation and then it doesn't fit, then I'm like, oh, well, shit. Yeah. Okay. But anyway, check out Flo Racing. All your small bike needs there. They have all sorts of stuff for 65, 85s, 50s, 125s. If it's a small bore, they got it. They can handle it. PW50s. He built that for my kid, too. So there we are. And jumping into 250s here, well, we can stop talking perfect season.
Yeah, that's right.
Hymas goes 1-1. Fantastic ride yesterday. Perfect day, as he says. Fastest qualifier. Led every lap in both motos. This is the Chance Hymas I expected to show up here for this year.
Yeah, Chance had a perfect day. And last year, I believe, Thunder Valley is where he got his first professional win. So I think coming into Thunder Valley, he had just good vibes there. And I know Chance is from Idaho, so he's used to some of that terrain, more hard-packed, kind of up in the mountain region. So Chance is definitely very comfortable on a track like Thunder Valley. And like you said, he just had a perfect day. Killed it in qualifying. Whole shot Moto 1, led every lap. Whole shot Moto 2, led every lap. I mean, as a racer, you can ask for a better day than that.
No, absolutely not. That was picture perfect. I will say, dude, after him not riding that second moto last week, I was like, what in the fuck are we doing here? Like, his Pala wasn't good. Hangtown, okay, first moto kind of, and then it was we didn't ride. And I'm like, dude, this is a fucking disaster. For someone who quit riding Supercross early to focus on outdoors, this is a fucking disaster. Hopefully it goes better here as we go, but if it doesn't, I'm just gonna start reaching for it a little bit here. Like,
getting close.
I'm not there yet, but I'm reaching because it's just like we got to see something. Like, dude, okay, Supercross, I understand you came in and they basically told you didn't have to race it. And you were like, nope, I'm gonna race it. And then like you won that mud race, like, okay, but outside of that, man,
he struggled.
There wasn't a lot there. So, like I said, I expected to see some shit in outdoors. this is the kind of stuff I expected to see.
Yeah.
Somebody who would challenge the Deegs. And so hopefully it continues. But the problem is here, we're running into the same thing in this class that we are in the 450s, right?
Mm-hmm.
All these dudes are fucking around, and Deegan's going 1-1, 1-1, 2-2. Like, so all of a sudden now he's got a...
He's back quite a bit now, especially since he missed, Moto 2 at Hangtown?
Yeah, let's see here. Who is Shimoda second? Yeah, Shimoda's second at 119, and Deegan's first with 144. So he's got a 25-point lead already, too. Like... That's the thing. And I said this before the season. Like, these guys cannot let they can't let Deegan get away like this. Like,
No,
somebody has to stick it in. And I had high hopes because Shimoda went 2-2, 2-2. So I was like, sweet. We've lost 12 points, but at least we're right there.
Yep,
right? So
case.
one bad moto by Deegan, one whatever. But then, of course, what happens first moto yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Joe fucking gets a shit start and can't go anywhere. And it's like, bro, you're literally choking this away.
Yeah.
And like I said, here we are now, 25 points down already after 2 rounds. Now, Deegan is still the class of the field. Let me ask you this, though. This is eerily similar to last year.
It is.
He started super strong, like 1-1, 1-2, 2-1, whatever, however the fuck it went.
Yeah.
And then once we got to high point, then we started to taper off a little bit. And then it was like, okay, we're going 2-3, 2-4, whatever. And we just kind of maintained enough. We got to like Washougal where we're really good. Boom, 1. And that kind of solidified it for us. Do we see the same thing? Or is he going to continue this domination run?
I believe Deegan, he was under the weather coming into Thunder Valley. So I think that definitely had a little bit to play into how the race shaped up yesterday. I think the way Deegan rides the bike didn't really lend to the track at Thunder Valley, just how deep it was and ripped and rough and bumpy. You could kind of watch Deegan. He was trying to force the issue, and I believe it was Moto 2. He had, at the start of the race, was trying to force it and made a bunch of mistakes, which at this level, you just can't do that. I think Pala and Hangtown, Deegan grew up in California, so he's very comfortable on those types of terrains of track. And obviously he moved out east a little bit later in his career, so he's not as comfortable on some of those tracks. So I think, he might struggle a little bit as we move east, but, I mean, really from what I've seen, I think it's Deegan's to lose. I mean, he's got the fitness. I know he was sick this past weekend, which was good for Chance to take advantage of that with Deegan, but I really think it's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying he loses the title by any means. That's not where I'm going with this. I'm just interested to see here as we continue forward if we get, like I said, like last year, where we go into the slump and we're not overalling all of them. So, and I say slump, that's relative. He's still, podium guy every single moto, basically. So, another guy who's kind of choking the whole year away here. Kitchen goes 8-3 for third. This is...
Yeah.
You want to talk about a not great look. First 6 motos here. Okay, that third, all right. Didn't he get a third in a moto last week, too, I think?
I think so. I mean...
So, okay, but, like... This isn't a
It's
good
not
look
the start
for
of the season that the Kitch was wanting
No.
Levi. I was at Daytona when I sitting right in front of where he crashed after the finish line, so I was standing right there. That crash was insanely wicked. Like,
That was
I was
terrible.
just glad to see him get up because he was sitting there. I was genuinely concerned for his health there for a while. But yeah, I know he's coming back to racing, and it's tough when you haven't been doing the gate drops with these guys on these rough tracks. Like, it takes, 1 or 2 races to kind of get everything flowing. But definitely to where he was, I believe last year at Pala, he was challenging Deegan for the overall there. It's probably a little frustrating for Levi to be a little bit behind where he was last year. But I think as the season goes on and he's logging these races under his belt, he'll get better.
Yeah, I hope so, because to me, this is a very underwhelming start to the series for him.
Yeah.
Very, very underwhelming. So, all right, moving on here. Vial goes 6-5 for fourth. I'm just going to push this for outdoors because if you ever wanted a poster for the KTM bikes, our cheater bikes in the GPs, right here is your prime example. He has done fuck all outdoors here.
Yeah.
Period. End of discussion. Yeah, he's won a couple overalls. Cool. Outside of that, nothing. And those overalls were not flashy. It was just like, okay, yeah, cool, he won. He went 1-1 or whatever, you know, like, but it wasn't, he dominated by 37 seconds. And you want to talk about these GP guys coming over and they can run with our guys or whatever and blah, 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 and this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, okay, cool. Well, your last two examples here, not fucking great. You've got Vial, who again has won 2 Supercross titles, lucked into those. And then you've got Prado here, which the Prado experiment isn't going well.
It's not working the way they would like it.
And
right
Vial's
now.
a 2-time MX2
Yeah, he is.
champion also. So,
Yeah.
like, it's not like he can't ride motocross, but, like, those KTMs are real fucking good.
Yeah, I was kind of shocked with his result yesterday. I feel like the way Thunder Valley was shaping up, it would lend its hand into a European rider a little more. So, yeah, to see Vial go 5.6, I would have expected him to be up front.
Yeah,
A
that
lot better than that.
that was it's I'm telling you, it is shockingly shocking at how terrible he is at frickin' outdoors here. I can't even believe it. And then, like I said, then you want to talk about Supercross. Is it
Yeah.
raining?
It kind of sounds like it's raining out there.
Huh.
But, yeah, I mean, yeah, he sort of did luck into the Supercross rounds at championships the last 2 years. He had to be there, which I think he's really good at being consistent. And looking back to, I think it was Pittsburgh.
Keep talking about him. I gotta
yeah.
make sure my window's up.
Yeah, looking back to Pittsburgh, he had to win that race in order to be even close in that championship, because I believe the race before that was Foxborough, and he had a shot there to win that race, and he really just blew it. I want to say he DNF'd or didn't. He might have got last place there. So then he went to Pittsburgh and won the race. So I know Tom Vial, being a 2-time MXGP champion, he knows how to get the races won, and he knows how to be a champion. So it's definitely strange to see how he's doing in the Pro Motocross Outdoor Series, because you would think someone like that at MXGP who's won 2 titles like that to be able to come here and kind of emulate his success that he had over there in the MX2 class, but we really haven't seen that outdoors the last few years.
It's definitely raining. Window was definitely down.
Oh, no.
Yeah, luckily
That's
it's not
not
raining a
great.
lot, so we're good. We're
That's
fine
good.
now. Great job, by the way. Sorry. Anyway, yeah,
Good.
yeah. So I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I was just, talking about Vial, and I know he's got that championship instinct in him. Like we said, he's won the 2 MXGP championships, and even in Supercross, where we saw him have a horrible race at Foxborough, but to be able to bounce back at Pittsburgh and then eventually get the job done, I know he's got it in him. It's just strange.
Well, he had some help.
He did.
Like, great title, Juju.
He did have a little help there.
Even better title, RJ.
Yeah, that's right.
But mostly Juju.
Yeah. But yeah, it's strange to see him struggling, and like you said, it might be just because over at in Europe with the MXGP, the way they're able to set up the bikes a lot differently than they are here.
Cheater bikes.
Yeah,
It's
that
a cheater
might-
bike.
might be the
Don't beat around the
difference.
bush, Noah.
Yeah.
It's a cheater bike over
I
there
mean,
in the
they're
250 class. Okay, so let me ask you this. Let's bench race a little bit here. Does he do anything in the 450s?
I mean, he has to move up, right? Because he's won the 250 titles in Supercross.
Yes, and he keeps saying he is. But we've seen KTM flex on people before, or flex on the AMA before. Oh, why do we have to do it? So
It'll be interesting to see what happens there. I know, he doesn't look like he's 100% comfortable, even though he's won the 2 Supercross championships the last 2 years.
Mhm.
He doesn't seem 100% comfortable on Supercross. To see him go straight into 450 Supercross at Anaheim 1 this next season, I mean, that's a tough situation to put yourself in.
I'll be real
if you're
honest.
Tom
I think
Vial.
he struggles to be in the top 10
Yeah,
in Supercross for sure, and I think I think he struggles to be in the top 15 in outdoors,
yeah.
which is crazy to say, but relatively speaking, because I know y'all are going to come for me in the comments, I don't think he's that good of a professional racer. I don't. There's nothing. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. You go to his first Supercross title. He won that because that was the first year of 9 whoops, and we had that weird situation, like
a lot of mud races.
Yeah, like a lot of mud races, like Alabama. They took the whoops out because they thought it was going to be muddy, and then it wasn't. So, like, okay. Then you have this year. Yeah, he's good enough to be right there. He's, like, consistent with where he's at. But, dude, Hammaker didn't win that title because Hammaker got food poisoning at Detroit.
Yeah.
Like, if Hammaker doesn't get food poisoning at Detroit, Hammaker finishes probably, even at worst, we'll call it 5th, which 5th compared to a 17th, he wins that title going away.
100%.
We don't even go down to the last round going, oh, who might win this? RJ doesn't have to take him out. Juju doesn't have to block him. Everything's different. And I know butterfly effect, everything would be different, but I'm just saying, he had these 2 titles he's won. There's been a lot of help to it. So, all right, let's move on here. Shimoda goes 9-4 for 5th. The worst day we've seen from Joe so far. I'm hoping he bounces back. I was excited to see it. I think he's going to Pro Circuit next year. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, that's where he started his 250. Well, actually, he started with Honda originally.
Yeah, he
then
started with
did
Geico.
Little stint with PC, and now back to Honda. But yeah, Joe's been consistent so far this year. So to see him go 4-9 at Thunder Valley, it kind of sucks to see because I would put Joe as probably the #1 guy besides Chance to really make a run at Deegan.
Just a terrible start. That's all there was to it. It was he got a terrible start that first moto and just couldn't go anywhere. So, Casey Cochran gets good starts, runs up front, goes 13-6 for 6th. Okay, because I don't know if he's re-signed for next year because of who knows what the fuck's happening with Gas and Husky there.
I don't know if he has, but it's been cool to see him up front at least a little bit the last 2 weeks. Casey especially, he's a little smaller, so to see him, handle that bike up to the front, it's been cool to see.
I randomly saw him in Orlando down on International Drive. Like one night we were down there having dinner, and all of a sudden I was like walking through this little area by, you know where that big Ferris wheel is on International Drive?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, so we were down there having dinner at like Yard House or something, and I was walking outside. I was like, son of a bitch, that was a pro rider. And then I had a thing. I was like, holy shit, that was Casey Cochran. What the fuck? Yeah, so just random weird story there. Dylan Schwartz goes 10-9 for 7th. Okay.
I think he's from around there too, Colorado, if I'm not mistaken.
No, he's from California.
California.
Yeah,
okay.
He's a California kid. Mikael Erup, 7-12 for 8th, but good starts.
Yeah, he's
and
up
seeing
there.
the pace.
Yeah.
So could get better. I'm really interested to see like how this year goes and if he ends up staying here. He's supposed to go back to the GPs for 450s.
Yeah, that's what I heard. He's supposed to go back.
Yeah, but
I think if he has a good showing here, he'll probably want to stay.
yes,
And I think Triumph would want to keep him.
you would think so. Okay, all right, here we go. We'll go with another one of these. Ty Masterpool, 415 for 9th. The Ty Masterpool experiment this year is drowning quickly.
Yeah. I know Mitch has high expectations for Ty, especially since he didn't race a lot of, or maybe any of the Supercross this year.
He did 2?
Maybe 1 or 2. So I know Ty was going all in on outdoors, and we've seen Ty has the skills outdoors. I mean, when he wants to, I think Ty is the best guy out there, but
he must have raced 2 because he must have raced A1, and then in San Diego he got 21st, and then that was it.
So, yeah, with a lot of these guys that kind of cut their Supercross season short and put all the effort into moto, and to have a rough start, that's got to be frustrating. And I know Mitch wants him to do better than what he has. So
I've heard Mitch is not stoked on how this is going so far.
Yeah,
and yes,
I would not be either.
No. Let's see here. Max Volan, 12-8 for 10th. Do you want to have a 45-minute conversation about handbrakes and how it's not that hard to ride with?
I could. I've personally never had to run that.
See that right there?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
There's a handbrake on
a
there.
road bike, I guess,
Rode with it all the time.
Yeah.
It's very simple.
Actually,
This is not tricky.
I have rode one. I was able to demo a Stark Varg last year at a bike event, and the braking situation on that bike had the front on the left and I think the rear on the right. So there was no clutch on those bikes because they're automatic, obviously. And It took me maybe 3 corners of, trying to dab the brake pedal on the right-hand
Yeah.
side before I realized, oh, shoot, it's not there. But I got used to it. But
Quickly, right?
Where I think it'd be tricky with Volan is you got the clutch and the brake.
Hey, this is very simple. I'll show you the same thing I showed them. This is how we used to ride that, right? Brake, clutch, brake, clutch.
Yeah.
And the best part is you can be doing both at the same time. You figure this out quickly. And what's the thing? If you're holding on like this, what are you doing? You're pumping up your arm pump, right? So yeah, it seems a little weird because now you're gonna have 2 fingers off instead of just the one. Okay, but you should have better riding technique to be able to hold on with just those 2. So,
and he's used to riding that way, so like it's probably second nature for him at this point. So he's killing it.
This has been a big battle on the show all year with me and Cole and Justin because I'm like, it's not fucking hard. And like, I appreciate the fact that no one else is doing it, so everybody's kind of like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Every stunt rider out there is going, what are you fucking concerned about?
Yeah.
Well, you're on the street. Okay, cool. You pop a wheelie, and then you're jumping around like a fucking clown. Like you're literally jumping like your feet through the handlebars and stuff like a freestyle motocross guy. All while running that brake and clutch with these fingers. And you want to tell me that that's less difficult than going into a fucking corner with braking bumps? Like, come on. No, it's not. I'd love to hook up with my guy, Daniel Blair, go down to club and ride the bike just to show everybody it's not that bad.
Yeah,
He's
love
doing
to try
great.
a bike like that.
He's
sometime.
doing great.
Yeah.
And I have no issues with Volan. Great kid. But we all need to tone it down a little bit. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
And again, I can only say it because I've
Yeah,
done
that
it.
experience.
So, Jordan Smith goes 14:10 for 11th. Okay. Marchbanks goes 3:28 for 12th. He has been really, really good in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like
He's
that
been
third,
killing
that
it.
first moto, killer. I mean, I think his big thing is he just can't get the starts because he's heavy.
Yeah, Garrett's super big on a 250. I think he fits a lot better on a 450. But yeah, to see him running third there in the first moto, he was killing it. And I think where Ty was supposed to be like the A guy for PC, in theory, he's really picking up the weight there by running up front.
Yep. Drew Adams goes 5:34 for 13th. That 5 is kind of the area I would foresee him in. Would be like 5 to 10,
That's
34th.
a good result for
yeah,
him being his first full outdoor season.
dude, he's a big dude too.
Yeah, he's grown a lot. Yeah, I
That's
used
what
to
heard.
know Drew when he first got on big bikes, and he was maybe 5'6", maybe, and now he's grown quite a bit.
Ryder D goes 15:13 for 14th. Okay.
Yeah.
Michael Motorcycle, aka Michael Mosman, 38.7 for 15th. We got all the good names here, by the way, for everybody. Don't worry, it's fine.
I think something happened to his bike there in one of the motos. He was running up front, and then it
Yeah.
looked like, I don't know what happened to his bike, but he basically let 3 or 4 guys right by.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if he gets re-signed with Star next year.
It'd be interesting because he had actually retired at one point.
Well, yeah, that's because he broke his neck
Yeah.
and he didn't think he could ride anymore. And then the doctor's like, "No, you're good, dude."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, well, all right."
He's got some insane speed, like especially in like Supercross. Like if he wants to, he can just uncork a fast lap.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Star. I mean, they're trying to sign a lot of top guys in the 450, but the 250 class are notorious for having like a full semi truck of guys. So it'll be interesting to see if they have it in the budget for the 250 team to keep them on.
Well, the thing is like, okay, if they don't, who do they got then?
Yeah.
Because like you run it down here, you've got let's see here, you got Nate Thrasher.
He's been struggling.
Well, yeah, that's a thing. You got Deegs for Supercross, but that's it. And then, I mean, bro, he's literally the best finisher behind Deegs here. You've got what's his nuts there, Max Anstey.
Yep.
Which he's okay. Is he a race winner though outdoors? No. You've got who else is hurt right now? Well, no, you don't have Dax because Dax is going to go to club. I'm trying to think of who else they have.
Is Dax supposed to race outdoors for Star this season? Do you
It's
know?
a great question.
I know he hit his head pretty good.
Yeah,
so-
and that's like his second or third one in
Yeah.
a short time period. So he's got a long rest period. Like I said, I know his contract's up, and I know club is actively trying to sign him. Like
he's
actively.
from like the Carolinas, I believe, so that might be a good fit for him.
Yeah. So, what's his nuts there? Who's the kid?
Pierce Brown?
Yes.
Yeah.
They got Pierce Brown too.
He's insanely talented, but
Insanely talented, but
seem
can't
to
stay
keep
off
it
the
off the
ground.
ground.
So
Yeah.
it's like realistically, like how do you get rid of Mosman? Because like Mosman can win races.
he's steady. He's
Yeah.
there.
So I mean, he's a strange. You ever talk to him?
I've talked to his dad. I had dinner with Mr. Mosman a couple of seasons ago at Millville. The great family.
Yeah.
Actually, he was living in Tallahassee, and one of my friends at school went to church with Michael.
Oh, really?
And he had nothing but good things to say about him. And my friend had
nice kid, little strange,
Yeah.
but because I ran into him in the mall in Indy during Supercross
Okay.
one year and had like full blown conversation with him. Got his number. He was supposed to come on the podcast, and then text him a couple times. Never text me back.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But outside that, nice kid.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a good family.
Yeah.
Michael's cool.
yep. Caden Minear debuting pro-wise here for finally got that visa figured out for Star Yamaha. He goes 18-11 for 16. Okay. Juju goes 16-14 for 17. All right.
Yeah.
Faulkner goes 11-19 for 18. Okay. Nate Thrasher 19-17 for 19th.
I think they're keeping him on for the Supercross wins.
You
When he
can win-
uncork the
Oh,
Supercross
bro.
win.
That's exactly
That's
it.
why they got him.
If you can win a Supercross race, you can get a ride.
Yeah. But even in Supercross, like he'll either win or he'll be like, fifth.
Yeah,
Fourth.
he wins or it's like 8, 9, 10. Like the dichotomy of results. We've ran through this several times, and it's just like holy shit.
Nate's cool. I like Nate. I've grown up racing with him. He's a cool guy, but it's like I can't imagine being in his shoes, like where you go win a race, you're on top of the world, and then next week you're like 13, 14. Like that's got to be frustrating if you're Nate Thrasher.
I just don't understand how you do it.
Yeah.
Because like with me, it's like if I have confidence, I'm riding well. Like I'm riding well all the time. Doesn't matter where it is, who it is, what it is. I'm riding well all the time.
But even with like Bobby Reagan being the team manager, like he must like love him when he's winning. But if the next week, like I would not want to be in his shoes.
But
Like I
it's the
can't
same-
imagine what Bobby would be saying to him.
But it's the same thing. It's like okay, who do you sign besides that can win a fucking race?
Yeah, you don't know.
That I mean,
Yeah.
that
We know
that's the
Nate can
problem.
win.
Yeah,
So-
he's guaranteed he will pull one out
Yeah.
throughout the year.
100%.
And round out the top 20, Lance Kobush goes 21-16 for 20th. Okay. Didn't hole shot this week. Let's see here. Doesn't look like we got anybody else from Michigan here. We got anybody that I missed? I don't think so. Anything else you want to talk about 250 wise?
Yeah, I think Deegan, like we mentioned before, he's going to be the one to beat. I think Chance did what he needed to do there at Thunder Valley. He took his momentum from winning there last year and then took the advantage with Deegan being a little bit under the weather and had pulled 2 great starts and, had pretty much a perfect day. Whether Chance can carry that momentum moving east or not, that's going to be the real test to see what he can do. Because last year, I think he had some momentum after this race, and then it didn't really pan out fully for the rest of the season. So I think for the fans and everyone, I think it'd be cool to see someone close to Deegan or dicing it up, getting some more moto wins other than Deegan. Because after those first 2 races in California, I mean, Deegan was just gone.
I was really nervous it was going to be really, really boring because he was just, through those first 4, he was so solid of just like, don't care if I start like 5th. I'm just going to patiently work my way through.
Yeah.
And then at the 15-minute mark, I'm really going to go. And then, boom, I'm there. So, yeah. So, and I'll tell you what, I saw a video on Whiskey Throttle. He was very upset about that bike situation the first moto there.
Oh, yeah. I
Because
heard
he thought he could get him.
I think your friend Hopper was out there filming while Deegan was out there, and I watched that video. Something was not right with that bike. And even just watching the motos on Peacock or NBC, you could see the coolant just pouring out of that thing. And, I mean, he got lucky he made to the finish line.
Yeah.
Man. I was surprised. Marchbanks, pretty much, if he wanted to, he could have passed him, but I don't think he knew that was Deegan.
Well, Lapper got in the way.
Yeah, right at the end there.
Yeah. So yeah, no, that was almost disastrous there, but good for him for milking it through. Yeah, for a third place. I mean, you can't complain about that.
Nope.
Yeah, there we are. It's past my bedtime already. So, all right. Well, that's been G50 Race Recap brought to you by Flo Racing. Make sure to check them out, profloracing.com. There's the link in the description down below. Anything we didn't cover that you wanted to tonight? Anything you want to talk about at all? Life, relationships, anything?
Yeah, life's good. I've just I graduated last December, moved back to Michigan, and I'm working at my family's business as we discussed. Really was wanting to do some, pro motocross races this season, so I'm looking forward to, being able to get into some of those here in the next few weeks. And today I was doing some training out at our track down in Marcellus, Michigan, riding with a friend. His name's Flynn Watts. He's a super fast guy. Last year at Loretta's, he had the fastest lap time for most of the week there out of the B class. But yeah, Flynn, he's from New Zealand. He races the New Zealand Motocross Championship down there. But his family's a farmer, so he is staying here with another local Michigan motocross family who farms, and so he's farming right now in the summertime. So he came out and rode today. So we put in some motos before the rain here on the roof here, and yeah, just trying to ride what I can, train, when I can, and we'll see what we can do this summer.
Have you been to Ziegler's?
I have not since they reopened the track. I saw Kessler was out there for a day or so, and I was talking with some people. They said it was good.
Yeah, that's what I've heard so far.
Like they ripped it deep the way it was 3-4 years ago. I haven't personally rode at Ziegler probably since 2021, 2022.
Yeah, that'd be about.
I feel like it's hit or miss. They're always kind of canceling it last minute, or at least for the last year or two, it's been pretty like rock hard or dusty. And
yeah, they went through that streak there where they didn't have the water setup figured out. Yeah, and that was when I quit going the first time. So that would have been 2021-ish range or whatever. And then was it last year? I think it was last year. I tried to go one time. It had rain. Okay, we're open. Track's fine. Cool. I got there a few minutes late, and my buddy comes off because he'd gone out for first session, and this was like a Thursday night or whatever, and he's like, dude, it's terrible. Don't even waste your time. It's just like mud. So we like packed up and went to Libretto's and rode. Yeah. Because we were just, he literally went out there, did one lap. He's like, dude, it's terrible. It's mud pits in between everything. And so, yeah, so I haven't been there in a few years. I used to love that track, dude. Like when that thing opened, I would go several times throughout the year. And, like, I could go out with AB practice at that place, which is crazy. I'm not an AB guy. I'm very much not an AB guy. I will fully admit that. But I could ride AB practice there and was never the slowest dude in AB practice. And I'm just like, well, this is what happens when you got a track that, like, I guess, everybody's fast at the practice track right here. Right here.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it when they were prepping it really good. Just for me, having a track that close to home. It's probably like 10 minutes for me.
Bro, I could get on these railroad tracks and I can ride those straight into there.
Yeah. So that was nice for me. And when they were prepping it really good, I'd put it up against like Martin. That's a big practice track here in Michigan. And but yeah, then they kind of changed who was working it, and it just wasn't as good. So
yeah, I really wish, for as big as that company is, that they would get it dialed in, because there is such a gold mine there, in my opinion, 100%. For them, that they have just foobarred away for years here. Like it was a gold mine opportunity when they opened, and then it just hasn't gotten really better since then. So hopefully they'll get it figured out, because yeah, like the thing that's awesome about it, at least from my perspective here, right? Because I'm busy, and like we were talking, obviously you have private tracks. Yeah, I have a 5-acre turn track in my backyard. So something me and Justin were talking about was like, in order for me to pack up and go somewhere, I have to justify that I'm going to get such a better riding experience or so much more excitement out of riding somewhere to make it worth my time. Otherwise, just get on my fucking bike and ride it. Like, it's in my backyard, and when I'm done, I'm off. I'm already home. Everything's unloaded. Yeah, so like whatever, right? And so like with there, it's better because it's 5 minutes from here, much like you. I'm sure you're 10, 15 minutes from there. Yeah. And like on Saturdays, it's awesome because they're open from 10 to 2. So I can get up at fucking 8 o'clock.
Yeah, sleep in a little bit.
Sleep in, not have to get up early. 5 minutes down the road, put in my 2, 3, 4 motos, whatever I want to do for the day there in the practice sessions. Pack up. I'm home by 2:30.
Still have the rest of the day.
Still have the rest of the day.
Yeah.
We're like, if I go to Martin, now again, I love Martin as a track. Track's fucking phenomenal. They do a great job there. But if I go there, I got to leave here by 8 o'clock to get there and be ready when they open at 10, because it's a 40-minute drive from here. Get set up, you do your day, get done at 4, and then you got 40 minutes home. That's if you leave right at 4. Yep, then you got to unload, wash, everything. By the time you're done, it's 7 o'clock, and you're like, okay, cool, well, just killed the entire day.
Yeah.
Which, like, I just don't have that time anymore. So I'll be really interested to see what the Ziegler situation progresses as. Like I said, I'm gonna go ride there because I want to go there. I know that track well enough still because I've watched videos now and I see they haven't really changed much. So I'm like, okay, cool. I could go there and do some like real suspension testing of like really trying to see if I can make some clicker changes that'll work, see if the sag situation will work, that kind of stuff. And I don't have to go an hour plus away.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too. Is like, man, I love Redbud. I love going to Redbud.
Is amazing.
But the cost analysis in my mind anymore to go there to do a and like, don't get me wrong, I'm not good at racing. I'll get last place. It's fine. I enjoy the competitiveness of it. I enjoy getting the gate drop in. And like I said, I love Redbud. But for me to justify spending $200+ that day to go there and ride 10 laps.
Yeah.
And like be there and like literally start my day at a normal time of like 5 o'clock, like I would on a work day, and be there until 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's like, ugh.
That's a huge time commitment.
Dude, it is. And it sucks because, man, I love that track so much.
Yeah, we're blessed here to have such a great track. I mean,
in our backyard.
It's right there.
I mean, I was literally talking to Eric the other day because I was like, okay, I'm thinking about going to Southwick for the National. I don't know that I am now because I was going to hang out with him, but he's got mountain bike race that day. But I was like, well, how far are you from the track? And he's like, oh, I'm 2.5 hours. And so, like, when I talk to him, I think he's local because he lives in Massachusetts. And I'm like, oh, shit, you're not local.
You don't realize how good we have it.
Yeah, it's like, and yeah, because somebody asked me the other day, they were like, how far are you from Redbud? I'm like, 45 minutes. They're like, what?
Yeah.
Okay. You don't go there all the time? Well, no, not really. I mean, it's a big commit. It takes all day. I don't know what you're going to tell you. Like, so I don't know. You're going to the you're going to the National because you're in ride. Never mind.
Yeah.
So never mind. That was a dumb fucking question.
Yeah. Hopefully, a lot of friends and family will go out for that one.
Yep.
Maybe I might be able to get some press day with that one, being a local rider. So
yeah,
definitely gonna apply for that. See if we can get in.
Does Sean run that too?
I don't know if he does it for outdoors. I know he does for Supercross, but
yeah, I don't know if he does it for outdoors either.
I'll
we're in halfway decent standings.
Okay.
Might be able to send an email.
Yeah, that'd be
hey,
awesome.
can you get my local friend in there?
That'd be sweet. Hey, I appreciate that.
I'm just kidding. I probably have no bearing on that whatsoever. But at least
it's worth a shot.
At least I'm in good standing now. It's not like before, like 2 years ago. It'd have been like, don't even mention you know me. Don't even mention you know me. Now it's okay. So, all right, cool, man. Well, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, you're welcome. I had a good time.
Really appreciate
Thanks for
it.
inviting me on.
Yeah, this was great. Maybe next time we'll get you in. We'll have somebody else here. I text Mike Hallman to come in too, but they had a race at Battle Creek this weekend. So, yeah, thanks to y'all for watching. Thanks to the members there. I haven't even checked the chat. I guess we should look at that.
Yeah, see if anyone's got any questions.
Look what happened. Let's see here. There was the Hopper stuff. Look what happened to Coke, Harley, Bud Light. Why would you put your OEM teams at that jeopardy? Also true. No drag queens at Anaheim 1 opening ceremony. Ha ha ha. Use golf grip tape and golf grip mineral spirit works awesome. Okay, fair enough. Heard Deegan was pissed. They tried blaming him for the bike failure. Look, in all fairness, he revs the piss out of that fucking thing, so whatever. Yeah. Called it before the season that Harrop would be an eye catcher. Yeah, Harrop Harrop, I think, is gonna come
gonna
around.
impress some people,
Yeah,
I
I think he'll have some good finishes here. So, all right, yeah. Thanks to the members for tuning in. Thanks to everybody who's watching this on the replay. Thanks to you for being here. Thanks to Rev X. Thanks to Gutter Works. Thanks to Complete Racing Solutions. Thanks to Holster Co. Thanks to Flo Racing. Thanks to TLR Coatings. And yeah, this has been show 309. We will be back next week with episode 310 to wrap up High Point. I now have the schedule figured out in my mind. I thought we were off next week. I'll be honest. I thought we went 3 and then we were off. And then I was like, man, that doesn't make sense because Father's Day weekend is usually High Point.
Yep.
And then it was Father's Day. And I was like, anyway, I looked it up. We'll be back next week. And with that being said, we will see everyone on the next one. Thanks for tuning into the Moto Aftermath Show. If you guys like the show, make sure to give us a thumbs up there with that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notification so you never miss a show update, a live show, or anything that we're doing here, because when we find out news, we will be on here bringing you our thoughts with it. Also, if you guys want to help support the show, join our members area. You'll get member exclusives, including live shows. You get to watch the show being recorded live, and you'll get all sorts of other member benefits. So thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Join the members area, subscribe. We'll see you all on the next one.